heading for that small moon.
I think I can get him before he gets there. He's almost in range.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
What's up and what's going on, fellow fanatics, and happy Tuesday to all of you out there. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Hope you all have had a great day. I appreciate every single one of you guys joining me this evening to discuss and talk about all the wonderful things we love to talk about, and that's movies, TV, streaming, hot topics, and more. And we're going to be here to talk about it with you guys. So again, I appreciate all of you guys being here. Appreciate everybody in the chat already. Cardboardology, Zang Beto, Connoisseur, Triple Salute, Corey Crawford, Raymond 2000, Official EMG. Appreciate all of you guys being here. Everybody that's watching currently, appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't smashed that like button, please go ahead and smash that like button. It definitely helps us out over here at the channel. So we definitely appreciate all of you guys so very much. Cardboardology, I saw that you asked, do I collect Marvel cards? I do not personally collect Marvel cards, but I do know, I think Q is into the Marvel cards. I'll definitely get with him and ask him. So I definitely appreciate you even thinking about us, thinking about wanting to send something to us. So yes, I appreciate that, and I would get with you on that after I speak with some of the other guys for sure. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of us that way. Snyder Stephen Wolf, appreciate you being here. And I will show you guys too, as I always say, if you would like to join our Discord, the link is down below in the bio. There are constant conversations going on throughout the Discord daily. Not just that, there are several different channels within the Discord that you can join, whether it be the anime, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, etc. You can join those and again join those vastly growing community and the conversations that they're having in there. And it's the easiest way also for us to get in contact with you when we do giveaways. You can send us your mailing information through that, and we can get you the giveaway that you have won. Also, if there's something that you see, whether it be an article or something in the way of news involving movies, TV, streaming, or more, and you would like to send it in the Discord and like us to talk about it on the show, that's the best way to do that as well. Or you can DM me on Twitter. I might see that a lot faster. So, like I said, I appreciate all of you guys being here this evening with me on this Tuesday. And we are going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to talk, you guys can see one of the things on the screen already. Puss in Boots, which I have seen. It's a great movie. I love the first one. The second one's just as good to me. But Puss in Boots, it looks like Puss in Boots may have been what Shrek 5 needed to get it started, you know, to send it on its way, because a lot of people have been asking, you know, what's going to happen? Are we going to get another Shrek? And we all kind of knew just from things that we kind of heard from around the way that Shrek 5 kind of depended on the success of Puss in Boots too. So yeah, definitely we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Ghost Rider maybe having a release date this year. Remember, we talked about Ghost Rider yesterday, but we're going to dive a little bit more into that. Channing Tatum still wants to be Gambit. We've talked about that not like in a video, like it wasn't a topic, but it was something while talking about the X-Men or talking about certain things within Marvel, we diverted to talking about Channing Tatum's canceled Gambit project. So we're going to talk about that going on there. We're going to talk about the Thunderbolts and the updates that are coming on with that. Looks like they're going to start filming that starting this summer. I think they said June. So we're going to talk about that there. Then the last thing we'll talk about is Loki Season 2 and how Loki Season 2 will have multiple Kangs in the series instead of, some of the things we talked about hearing that Sylvie, an older version of Sylvie, was going to be the main antagonist in the film, and she still may be. An older version of Sylvie still may be, but I think the Kang variants are still going to be playing a role in that. I think the Victor Timely Kang variant may still also be on the table there for what they've got going on. So we're going to talk about all of those things here, and then we'll call it a show. So let's see what's going on. Let's see. Let me see here. SB Flash, appreciate you being here. Snyder Stephen Wolf said, yo, Darius, have you watched Last of Us? Sorry, I had to leave early yesterday, bro. No, it's fine, bro. No, I have not gotten to watch Last of Us yet. I literally just watched The Bad Batch this past Sunday, so I have a lot of catching up to do. Last of Us is on my list, though, of things that I do need to dive in and get and watch, but I haven't yet. I've heard nothing but good things. I see you also said Shrek Forever. Shrek Forever After ended perfectly, though, in my opinion. Was that the fourth one? If that's the fourth one, I hated that one. Official EMG said Shrek 5 and the Puss in Boots animation would be fire. Kenny Pierce said TLOU is great. The Last of Us is great. I didn't like Ellie casting at first, but now I like her more as Ellie than Pedro as Joel. Snyder also said, I reread the Thunderbolts comics again, so freaking good. And Raymond said, I hated Shrek 4, so did I. I only like Shreks 1 through 3. Shrek 4, I did not like at all. But we're going to get into that, so let's jump into that since we're talking Shrek here. And again, Puss in Boots, a lot of people have been asking if you're a Shrek fan, and I am a Shrek fan. I love the first Shrek, and I'm not talking like, oh, Darius, you watch him every now and then. No, bro, like laying in bed, Shrek is one of my go-tos. I will put it on. Like, I will put Shrek on and just watch it, even though I've seen Shrek thousands of times. Not just the first one. I love the second Shrek so much. I love the Fairy Godmother. I love when Prince Charming's involved. I love when he climbs to the tallest tower and blistering winds and all that shit. And he pulls back the blanket and it's the wolf. And it's I love what the Fairy Godmother said when she was talking to the king of when she was talking to Fiona's dad, the king of Far, Far Away, and she said, he climbs through he tracks through blistering winds, climbs the bloody tallest tower, and what does he find when he gets there? A gender confused wolf. Bro, Shrek is ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time. It's so fucking funny. It's so good. I love Shrek. So the possibilities or ideas that you can get Michael Myers and the rest of the gang back. Cameron Diaz, we know that she's back acting and everything like that. If we can get the gang back, Eddie Murphy back as Donkey, etc., etc., for a Shrek 5, I think audiences would be here for it, and I really think that it would be one of those things that it would do what Puss in Boots possibly is doing in the box office right now, if not better, because Puss in Boots is crushing the box office right now. I don't know if anybody has seen that, but it is crushing the box office right now, and I believe a Shrek 5 done correctly, not in the way that a Shrek 4 was done, but a Shrek 5 with a brilliant fairy tale story behind it, and you can bring in some of these other fairy tale creatures and characters that we love and things like that. You bring some of these guys in, you do a great story. I think a Shrek 5 could honestly hit in the box office. But this is what Screen Rant is having to say. As Puss in Boots, The Last Wish slices up the box office, a fairy tale ending for Shrek 5 begins to look inevitable. DreamWorks' Shrek franchise is a classic case of diminishing returns. 2001's original Shrek was nothing short of a delight for adults and children alike. Playful twisting the established norms of the brother Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen, Shrek 2 released to slightly less enthusiasm in 2004 before Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After, and the lesser extent the original Puss in Boots spin-off all failed to recapture that early DreamWorks magic. People say that about the first Puss in Boots. The first Puss in Boots I thought was really fucking good, bro. Like the shit with Humpty, the whole storyline and the goose and the beanstalk, Jack and the Beanstalk. I thought Jack and Jill, I thought the jokes, again, it's a lot of adult humor, but the jokes that are in Puss in Boots, I love the first one. So I don't know if a lot of people dislike the first one or not, but I think the first Puss in Boots is great. Then they go on to say, at the time of writing Puss in Boots, The Last Wish has grossed over $250 million at the global box office. Despite a less than spectacular start, the sequel found a few extra lives, buoyed by positive word of mouth, strong reviews, and high Rotten Tomatoes scores for Puss in Boots 2. After a significant domestic boost in its second week of release behind Avatar: The Way of Water, subsequent drop-offs have proven remarkably low, with Antonio Banderas voicing Puss in Boots, holding his ground well in other territories also. Then it says Shrek 5. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish combination of glowing reviews and strong box office surely means DreamWorks will be taking a closer look at Shrek 5, now 13 years in the making. The spin-off sequel not only proves more additions to the Shrek franchise would be a commercially viable strategy that encouraging critical acclaims signals that Mike Myers' grumpy green swamp dweller and his electric band of fairy tale friends still offer creative merit. But better still for DreamWorks and any late Shrek 5 movie stands a strong chance of performing even better than Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So it looks like we could possibly, like I said, be getting this, and then it goes on to ask when Shrek 5 could happen. It says updates on Shrek 5 have been fewer and far between, but proposed sequel would not be starting from scratch in 2017. Michael McCullers confirmed the script for Shrek 5 had been finished, although little has been heard since. If theoretically speaking, DreamWorks accelerated production on Shrek 5 immediately as a result of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish success. 2025 would still be relatively optimistic prediction for the release date. With no updates for Shrek 5 to speak of, however, the time frame could easily extend into 2026 and beyond, especially if DreamWorks decides not to move forward with the Michael McClure's Shrek 5 script that is already in place. Animation and voice performances are time-consuming enough, but writing a script from scratch and sitting on a complete one for 6 years means that possibility cannot be discounted. Would take significant. Shrek 5 may take forever after all, despite the success enjoyed by Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So 2025, possibly 2026 and beyond is what they're kind of thinking here for a Shrek 5 Puss in Boots thing that's going on there. So I think, I adore the Shrek franchise, minus Shrek 4. I don't like Shrek 4, but I adore Shrek 1, Shrek 2, and Shrek 3. I think they're all great. I think you do a Shrek 5 with some of these fairy tale creatures that we adore. You bring back Michael Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy, the gang. And I think that it could be something that would be really good. And I think it is something that people would be looking for. Again, we're in that era where people are wanting to see, different things outside of the superhero movies that are in theaters or some of the other sci-fi things. I believe that's one of the reasons why Puss in Boots did so well. Not just because it's such a great movie, and the animation does slap, but also because it's one of those things where people are, we go to the movie theaters, we see some of the same things over and over, and as it just said, we haven't seen anything from the Shrek universe in, 13 years? Well, since Shrek 4. I don't remember when Puss in Boots, the first one, came out, but it's been a while since we've been back in this world, and I think a lot of fans, and not just fans, audiences in general, want to be put back in this world and have, kind of take that step back from the superhero movies and things like that. Not to say that I'm sick of the superhero movies, I'm not, but we know that the fatigue is out there and people are kind of looking for other things. So I think a Shrek 5 would do great in 2025 if they do go with. I feel like they'll rewrite the script. I have not seen what the script is. I have no clue, but if it's been 6 years or however long it said that since he wrote the script, I feel like a new, fresh take on what you guys want the script to be, what they're wanting the direction of the film to be, could be a lot better. I will say this, though. The new look for Shrek, I don't like. Like it's a newer animated look for him that he still looks the same, but there's definitely some things that they changed about it that he still looks like the Shrek from Shrek 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's just subtle differences that you may notice in those. But, that's just my nitpick. But as always, question is for you guys. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking about what's going on with Shrek 5, the possibilities of us getting a Shrek 5, and did you get to see Puss in Boots 2 yet or not? What do you think of the box office that it's doing? What do you think of the very, very low drop-off numbers that it's having week to week and things like that? Again, I think people just want to be immersed back in this fairy tale world. But again, let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Let's see what the chat is saying. I saw Raymond where he said he hated Shrek 4. Yep. Kenny said, we're talking about Last of Us. Dexter Hobbs said Shrek 2 is a classic. Bro, yeah, Shrek 2 is so damn good. Raymond said, I didn't like Shrek 3 that much either. It was okay, but it isn't great. It's okay. I like the first three. I don't like, again, that fourth one I don't like, but the first three. Nothing beats Shrek 1 and 2. No, nothing beats those. Those are good. SB Flash said, I think Shrek 1 is underrated. Shrek 2 is really good. I have it on DVD. Yeah, Shrek 1, I'm telling you, it was one of those things that had Shrek come out today, they couldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Shrek came out at the right time. Shrek 2 came out at the right time. That kind of concerns me for Shrek 5. Do you think that with Shrek 5, they kind of stay in the vein of the first three great Shreks that they made, the humor, the adult humor, the things that are going on in the film. I don't know that you can do Shrek that way in today's climate, in today's, where everybody's so sensitive about, well, I don't want my kid to do this. You got to remember, parents were upset with turning red over the period joke, and it wasn't even really like, all she said was, "Is it your time of the month?" And so in today's climate, I don't really know that you can do a Shrek the way that you did a Shrek 1 and 2, but we'll have to wait and see what comes out, if anything comes out for Shrek 5. Kenny said Shrek is old enough to capitalize on nostalgia for sure. Connoisseur Triple Salute said, long as there are no recasts with the starting 5, I'm always here for Shrek. For sure, I agree with that. Kenny Pierce said, if we can get 10 Fast and Furious, we should get 20 Shreks. Shrek, see you. Dougie Fresh said, if it's anything like the last wish, give it to me. Yeah, for sure. And appreciate you being here, Tank. Appreciate you being here with us tonight. I agree with you. I agree. But we'll move on here to the next topic. Next topic that we're going to move on to is going to be some of the Ghost Rider stuff that's going on. And this is coming from Murphy's Multiverse. Now, if you remember, we did discuss Ghost Rider yesterday. We discussed some of the things going on, or would we be seeing Ghost Rider coming in the MCU? You guys remember, I think it was not last week, but it might have been last week when I said that we had heard rumor that Ghost Rider would be coming sooner rather than later, but we had no news coupled with that information. We just heard that it was going to be sooner rather than later. Well, now it seems like we've got a little bit more validity on what's going on with Ghost Rider entering into the MCU. But just to remind you guys, this is what the Watcher tweeted out, and this is what I kind of read yesterday, so I'll read this really quick. This is what the Watcher said. Not that I've heard, but I have heard they're working on making MCU's Ghost Rider somewhat of an urban legend that has been known throughout several generations in different cultures. Heavy on the spirit of vengeance, and that's coming again from the Watcher. So looks like the Ghost Rider may be an urban legend that's going to be known through several generations. It's going to be one of those things that it's an urban myth until you actually see it. So until you actually see him, whether that be Robbie Reyes or Johnny Blaze, I'm not really sure which version of Ghost Rider we're going to be seeing in the MCU. But again, this is coming from Murphy's Multiverse, and this is what they had to say here, and it's very short. But they said, there are many characters that people want to see join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've already had a smorgasbord of new additions throughout the last few years, especially in the ambitious multiversal saga. Yet that hasn't stopped other rumors making its rounds on who else might have their future. Werewolf by Night especially introduced a more horror-centric corner of the MCU, opening up many more potentially getting their own chance at a similar adaptation through a special presentation. Given the horror theme, the most popular choice was Ghost Rider, who has long been rumored to potentially appear in his own project. No matter which version they may adapt, there's been quite a few rumors making the rounds that they may be developing a project. Gabriel Luna, who previously played the character in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series, also was quite excited to potentially return to the role given his Hulu spinoff series was canceled. Now, a new rumor is making the rounds from Geeks Worldwide, Casey Walsh, in the long-rumored project. Now, Casey Walsh, we've talked many times about Casey Walsh being another very credible superhero. Murphy's Multiverse is as well. While he does not have any details on what exactly we can expect from it, he does point to the fact that it's currently set to release this year in 2023. If they stick to a similar production schedule like Werewolf by Night, they would have to start production in the coming months, but it would be possible if they are aiming for a Halloween special. If that is true, we might get more rumors soon and likely have to wait a bit before we find out more. And again, that is coming from Murphy's Multiverse via Casey Walsh, very credible insider there. So these are some of the things we know. We know that we may be getting Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider may be coming this year, and if he does come this year, it would be in way of a special. We've talked about Marvel moving from the series to specials, and how we all thought that would be a much better look for Marvel to do. Just giving how Werewolf by Night was such a great, it was one of the best things outside of WandaVision and Loki for me personally that they put on Disney Plus from Marvel. So seeing how wonderful that special was, and I really did enjoy that special, I feel like moving forward, when you're introducing any type of new characters, you're introducing anything like that, you should do a special. Because with Werewolf by Night, we got to the point. We understood who he was. We understood what Man-Thing was and everything like that. We understood Elsa Bloodstone. We understood the entire special. And I feel like if you're going to introduce Ghost Rider again, whether it be Robbie Reyes or Johnny Blaze, you need to make it a special to where it's quick, not quick like that, but it's to the point. We're not having to spin 1 to 6 to 9 episodes, with all these fillers trying to explain who Johnny Blaze is and things like that. Get to the point, establish Johnny Blaze, and have him enter into the MCU. I really, again, or Robbie Reyes, whichever one they do. I really think that the special is going to be the way to go. And if that is true, that we are going to be getting the Ghost Rider, whether it be a special release or whatever, Ghost Rider into the MCU this year, I agree with Murphy's Multiverse that production would have to start within the coming months. That way they can get it out for that Halloween special date. And I do believe, because this is, again, this is not the first time we've heard about Ghost Rider. We've been hearing about Ghost Rider over the past few weeks. We've been hearing about Ghost Rider, more and more over the past few weeks, but we've been hearing about Ghost Rider for for a few months now. And with all this news coming out for Ghost Rider, and we know that Marvel wants to do specials, we know that they want to do another Halloween special just because of how great Werewolf by Night popped for Marvel. I really believe that Johnny Blaze or Robbie Reyes, whichever one it is, again, is going to be entering into the MCU, and that's going to be in that Halloween special that we're going to possibly be seeing here soon. So we're probably going to get more news about it. We're probably going to get more news about it as more and more leaks and things come out about it. More and more rumors starts to spin the wheel and things like that. We'll probably hear more about what's going to be going on with Ghost Rider in the MCU. But if the release date is true for this year, I'm excited for it because I'm excited for Ghost Rider. I'm trepidatious on how Marvel's going to handle Ghost Rider, but I would like to see their version, their adaptation of what they're going to do with Ghost Rider in the MCU. And as Murphy's Multiverse did point out also, we're entering into that darker, horrific side of that supernatural side of the MCU. And as we start to enter that side, and we also know just from the leak that I read last week that the Midnight Suns is in the future. Midnight Suns, that Marvel is eyeing Midnight Suns in the future for future projects that they're going to be doing, and that is also rumored to be coming sooner rather than later. I think that all goes hand in hand together. We know that Eternals 2, I'm sure, is going to have something to do with Kit Harington is probably going to be in Eternals 2, so we'll get to see some more stuff with Black Knight, possibly. We know that Blade is more than likely going around playing that Nick Fury role and recruiting different members into the Midnight Suns. When he popped up at the end of Eternals and asking, you think you're ready for that and things like that. So I think that it's very true. We could be possibly seeing that. I wanted them to do something. The rumor was early on that Mahershala Ali's Blade was going to pop up in Werewolf by Night, and they were going to start trying to lay the groundwork for that there. Maybe they start laying the groundwork for that there in Ghost Rider, and then moving forward, we start seeing the recruitment of some of these other individuals into the Midnight Suns. Either way, I'm excited for it. I really do want to see Ghost Rider in the MCU. Again, trepidatious on how the MCU does handle Ghost Rider, but I'm really ready to see him enter the MCU. But as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking of this Ghost Rider news. What are you thinking about a special possibly coming this year? Do you think that that's realistic? Do you think that no, that's probably not realistic? But I will say this. We didn't hear shit about a Werewolf by Night, really anything before D23. There were some whispers out there before, some things in the rumor mill, but nothing was really official. We really didn't hear much of anything about the Werewolf by Night special until Marvel themselves announced it. So with that being said, I would even say that this is even more likely to be something that's happening because just because Marvel hasn't said anything about it right now, again, you got to take yourself back to that Werewolf by Night time. They didn't say shit about Werewolf by Night before we saw it either. So this is very possible. So let me know again what you guys are thinking down below about the Ghost Rider entering into the MCU, and how excited are you, and what are you thinking about it possibly getting that release date of this year. See what you guys are saying. Dougie Fresh said, I like the urban legend approach. We're so deep into the MCU that they'll kind of have to introduce characters who have allegedly been there the whole time. Right. It's kind of like when we've talked about the X-Men. I think the Cerebro, I've said the Cerebro approach for the X-Men, but the more and more I talk about it, I like the Kang doing away with the mutants approach because he was fearful of the mutants. I like that whole theory that's going on there, that maybe Kang misplaced or displaced rather the X-Men or the mutants and things like that because he through the things that he's seen throughout the many versions of the multiverse that he's seen, the mutants have always possibly been a problem for him in every universe. So doing away with them completely then makes it a way for his plans to come to fruition. So I like the whole Kang theory, but I also still like the Cerebro theory as well. But I agree with you that you're going to have to make it to where some of these heroes and have been here because of how deep we currently are in the MCU. Black Cinema Critic said, Ghost Rider, where is my Blade news, Marvel? We're not going to get any Blade news until they're done with that script. It's kind of like we were just kind of talking about with Shrek there. To rewrite the Shrek 5 script would mean that would push Shrek back to possibly a late 2026 time. But if they go with the script that they currently have, then they would have that 2025 release date. But you guys have to remember, Blade is being rewritten. They got Bo DeMeo is rewriting it. They just got a new director. Mahershala Ali is more involved because what we heard the first time, it was 90 pages with 2 lackluster fight scenes. Mahershala Ali was ready to walk, being frustrated, etc., etc. It's going to be a while before we hear anything else about Blade because they've got to finish that script. And I'm okay with that. And the reason I'm okay with that is because I'm not okay with the 90-page script that you had. I'm not okay with 2 lackluster fight scenes. I'm not okay with Academy Award-winning Mahershala Ali being treated like a second-class actor. So knowing that, you know, they're taking their time. Bo DeMeo is involved. Him being African American as well. I forget who's directing, but he also directed some episodes of Lovecraft Country. He being African American as well. Mahershala Ali. I like the fact that it's being reworked. I like the fact that Mahershala Ali didn't accept the shit that they tried to give him. And I like the fact that now he's more involved. Bo DeMeo is involved. And we know that Bo is also doing the writing for X-Men 97. He's a huge Marvel nerd. We're going to hear more, but it's going to be some time. Kenny said, find someone who looks into your eyes the way Ghost Rider looks into your eyes. Julian said, what's up, Darius? What's up, Julian? Appreciate you being here. Connoisseur Triple Salute said, sounds like they're going to put more than enough respect on Ghost Rider's name. Wish they had the same energy on T'Challa. Yeah, same. Raymond said, I put money in Ghost Rider being Blade, or being in Blade. It's very possible. It's very possible. Kenny Pierce said, y'all remember ghost riding your bike? Oh, yeah, bro. I used to ghost ride my bike. I had one of those Harley bikes. I had my mount, like my you know, my like what were those called? What were those bikes called? Like the small, like it was a regular size bike, but the smaller, like more take it in the creek dirt bike type shit. Like I had one of those, but I also had like the motorcycle bikes. Those were fucking dope. I love those. Hungry Almighty said, wait, there's 2 Ghost Riders? I thought Johnny was the only one. My knowledge of Ghost Rider is limited to 2005 movie, so I just assumed Johnny is the main Ghost Rider. No, there's Johnny and there's Robbie Reyes. I believe there's another. What is his name though? I forget his name. There is another. Help me, chat, because I don't want to have to pull it or leave this page. Help me on that. There is another though. It might have been Huffy. Let's see. See, Jeezy said a Ghost Rider introduced in a special format is a smart idea in my opinion. No, I agree with you. I think that's just the best. I'm not confident, or I really don't trust Marvel and their series and things like that. I'm not really confident that they could deliver a Ghost Rider series and do it justice. Give a special, make it make sense the same way you did Werewolf by Night. Fans will be happy. And then we'll see him enter in other projects. So, yes, Danny. Thank you. Danny's the other. Let's see. And then I've got Pookie Wood jumping in. Appreciate you being here. Julian said, the idea of Ghost Rider being an urban legend or a myth, almost in a sense that nobody knows if he's real or not, makes a lot of sense given the nature of the character. I know. That's why I said, too. When I read that yesterday, when I read that the Watcher said that, I loved that whole idea. The whole urban legend idea, I love it. I love it because it adds to the mystique of the character. It adds to the whole, like, they're going to play on that supernatural side, the whole horror elements of the character, like make him a myth. Like, you know, I hate to even kind of compare it to Star Wars, but in Star Wars, in the comics and books at least, and it's supposed to be this way in the films too, but Vader's a legend. Vader is a myth in Star Wars. In the Star Wars continuity, Vader's a myth. Like, nobody knows who Vader is. Everybody, like, people think that Anakin died during the Clone Wars and died a war hero. Only Jocasta knew, Palpatine, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka when she found out. And those are the only people that know, and Tarkin knows too, and Thrawn knows, but Thrawn knows because Thrawn figured it out. But it's supposed to be a myth, so I'm bringing that up to say, if you take yourself to the scene of Rogue One, when Vader pops into the Rebel blockade ship and he kills all those rebels, the look on the rebels' faces when they see him, it's because it's like, oh shit. He's real. He's real. Like, it's not a myth. This is actually happening, you know? So I like that whole idea as well. I like the whole urban legend idea, have him come in, and then when people see him, it's like, holy shit, you're actually real. So yeah, I like that idea. SB Flash said, isn't Michael Starberry writing the Blade movie? No, Bo DeMayo is writing... I'll double check that, but Bo DeMayo is writing the Blade movie. Let me double check that. Yes, Bo DeMayo is writing the Blade film. That was announced back in September that he was going to be taking over that. He is also, as I said, he is also writing X-Men 97. He's one of the writers over there on X-Men 97. But Bo DeMayo is the writer there. Let's see. Executive Judge said, hey, Darius, what I missed? Not much, bro. You honestly, you didn't miss much. We're just here on the second topic. We talked about Shrek, Puss in Boots, and Shrek 5 possibly coming because of the success of Puss in Boots. That's about it. So yeah, we'll move on here to the next topic. And the next topic is something I actually really want to talk about, and it's the Channing Tatum stuff that's going on. Channing Tatum, and it's funny because... this news is breaking. It's funny this news is breaking because we've talked before about the canceled Gambit project that Channing Tatum was attached to. Again, not in a video format. It's never been a topic, but while talking about other topics involving the X-Men, I've brought up that Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit and X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. But this is coming from the direct, so we'll just jump right into what they're saying here. The direct is saying Channing Tatum has opened up about his X-Men movie that was never made, and he pushes for Marvel Studios to adopt the project. Following Disney acquiring Fox, the question of when mutants will join the MCU in force and what the Marvel Studios version of the franchise will look like has dominated fan conversation. While audiences are still waiting for X-Men news, the same can be said for Channing Tatum, whose own X-Men spinoff was pulled off the slate in 2019. Now that Deadpool and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine have crossed over into the MCU, Tatum has commented on his hopes for the revival of the card-wielding mutant. Then it goes on to say, when talking with Vanity Fair, Channing Tatum revealed that he's still interested in his X-Men movie based on Gambit and still calls Marvel every once in a while. Tatum and his producing partner Reed Caroline reportedly spent 4 years mapping out a described raunchy standalone Gambit film. And while Fox was expected to release Gambit in 2020, that all came to an end when, as the actor explained, it got swallowed up into Disney by way of Marvel when they bought Fox. As to why there's been no news on Marvel adapting his film, Tatum acknowledged that his Gambit was likely far from what Disney wanted to do. This is Channing Tatum saying, and ultimately I just think that the tone of the movie we wanted to make was very far from what they wanted to do, or maybe they're waiting to see how they do it with us or without us. Lastly, while the Magic Mike star knows the odds are against his Gambit film, he confessed that he still calls Marvel every once in a while. We call every once in a while, but we've got the spiritual, emotional kind of mentally letting it go. So Channing Tatum, again, we've talked about that. Channing Tatum was rumored to be coming, or not rumored, Channing Tatum was supposed to be having his Gambit film that was taken off of the table when Marvel acquired the rights to Fox back in 2019. Now, this is also despite what you might personally think about Channing or about Tatum's acting. He's come a really long way as an actor, I would say. I think he's come a very long way, and he was crushed when he didn't get to do his Gambit film. A lot of people think that it was just, something that was rumored. It was just something that was in the talks. No, bro. Like, if you guys take yourselves back to SDCC 2017, I believe, Channing Tatum was on stage with Hugh Jackman. He was on stage with Ryan Reynolds because that was Fox announcing what the next, their next films that they were going to be doing in the Fox universe with the X-Men. And Gambit, Channing Tatum's Gambit was one of them. I'll go ahead and actually show this here. And this is from San Diego Comic-Con. So he was on stage and he is wanted to be, he was
I felt like there was some sort of record to break with getting up.
Sorry. Let me start that over.
I felt like there was some sort of record to break with getting a picture with the most superheroes on one stage. So can we bring out the cast of Wolverine, Deadpool, X-Men Apocalypse, and Fantastic Four, please? Everyone out, and then if someone could come take the picture, that would be amazing. I think they have someone backstage who's going to come out and take the picture for us. Can you send him out so we can take this?
Go. Hey, wait a minute. Just wait 1 minute.
Oh,
hold on. I'm just pretty pissed. I want to tell you, this is ridiculous. Yeah? Well, I'm going to take the picture and get it over with. You think I can just do cameos. I'm one of the great photographers, and by the way, all of you are in charge. I charge you with the responsibility of writing to the Motion Picture Academy and saying they need an award for best cameo. But we'll save that for another panel.
do you have a camera?
Who's got a camera? Who's got the camera?
Dan doesn't have a camera. Does someone else have a camera?
Somebody's got to have a camera.
Oh, Channing Tatum is here and no camera.
Here we are.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Thank you. What's up? You have to hop into this picture.
All right. What's up? How y'all doing out there?
All right. Make it good. Remember, I'm watching.
Come here.
Yeah.
Get in. Okay.
Am I in?
1, 2, 3. Yes.
Focus on me.
All right, good. Wait, they want me to take one more here. I mean, this is epic. Here we go. Hey, you're hot too. Okay.
Take it off, Chris.
All right, I'm going to go over here. Please, no applause. All right, here we go. Here we go. These are my people. Here we go.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
Now that's the way to end a panel.
You guys, thank you so
Good
much
work.
for coming to the 20th Century Fox panel. I have been Chris Hardwick. Take a few pictures, and we'll see you with the rest of the con. Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right, so a lot of people forget that actually happened. A lot of people forget that Channing Tatum showed up to San Diego Comic-Con in 2017 and was wearing the Gambit shirt, talked about Gambit after they got out on the red carpet and things like that. And now, just because that all that happened when it did, it got canceled, taken off the slate in 2019 when Marvel acquired the rights to Fox, and due to that, he never got to do his Gambit film. Well, it seems like he might actually get the chance to be Gambit in Marvel, and not just as a cameo or anything like that, but actually possibly moving forward, maybe in the MCU. This is coming from CBR, and if I don't know if you guys know this, but Ryan Reynolds wants Gambit to show up, or Channing Tatum's Gambit to show up in Deadpool 3. And again, with some of the things we know about Deadpool 3 and some of the things we know about Gambit, we don't really know why the TVA is going to be after Deadpool and Wolverine, other than that something has happened with them, messing with time or whatever. But who do we know? What do we know about Gambit? We know that Gambit himself is a thief. There could be something that happens to where, this version of Wolverine already knows Gambit, or maybe Deadpool has met Gambit, or or something like that, to where he's like, oh, I know something that can help us with this, or know something that can help us with this task. And then you go get Gambit, and then now you got Gambit that's in the film as well. Maybe it's just a cameo, maybe it's something longer, within the film. I'm not sure, but we do know that Ryan Reynolds wants him to show up as Gambit, and again, who better to do anything like that than Ryan Reynolds? Why? Because we know that him and Ryan Reynolds are already friends. We know that, Channing Tatum showed up in Free Guy. We also know that Channing Tatum would be able to handle the physicality of this role, as well as the comedic chops I'm sure that it would take to be in a Ryan Reynolds type of Deadpool, to be in Deadpool 3. I'm sure there would be some type of comedic lines there coming from Gambit, coming from, I would love for Deadpool to make a Magic Mike joke or anything like that, a 21 Jump Street joke, my name's Jeff, something like that. I don't know, something like that. But we know that Channing Tatum can also handle the comedic side because of 21 and 22 Jump Street. We've seen him be comedic. We've seen him, his acting develop over time and things like that. So I think that he would have made a great Gambit, and he really wanted to do it. His Creole accent could have been definitely could have some work, but honestly, if you've heard him talk in the accent as Gambit, he does not sound bad. He has worked on, not only that, Channing Tatum grew up in Louisiana. He grew up in he grew up in Louisiana and Mississippi. Grew up in both. So he has those roots there, at least. So having that accent, at least from what I heard him talking, I feel like he would be able to kill a Gambit. He was talking about how he's practiced card tricks and different things like that. He's talked about how their Gambit was going to be a vastly different type of film than, as you just heard him say. Well, what I read there from the direct was that he didn't think that the Gambit that they wanted to do was going to be the Gambit that Disney, the mouse, was going to adapt. It definitely wasn't. After hearing some of the things that Channing Tatum has said about his version of Gambit, the things that not his version, but the raunchy film that they were going to do, it wasn't he said it wasn't going to be a typical superhero film, because Gambit's not a typical superhero. He's not really a superhero. Yes, he's a part of the X-Men, but if you know Gambit, he's one of those I'm a hero when it suits me type of guys. I mean, yes, he's a good guy, but Gambit also has that gray area. So it's like, hearing Channing Tatum talk about some of those things, what their film was going to be, I highly doubt it's anything that Marvel would have adapted. But you put Channing Tatum's Gambit in a Deadpool 3 film, then you're able to do that raunchier type of Gambit. You're able to do that feel that you wanted to do with Gambit. Again, maybe it is just for a cameo, because I still don't see that raunchy Gambit that he's wanting to do moving forward at the House of Mouse. I don't see Marvel bending the knee and allowing that. They allowed it with Ryan Reynolds because they wanted Deadpool in the MCU, and the only way Ryan Reynolds was going to do it is if he got to do it the same way he did it with Fox. So I don't really know if that's something that's going to be going on, but we do know that he wants him to be in Deadpool 3, and this is what CBR has to say about it. Deadpool 3 star Ryan Reynolds is reportedly hoping Channing Tatum will make a cameo. According to a report by reputable scooper Daniel RPK, the Wade Wilson actor is pushing for Tatum to appear in the Merc with the Mouth's third blockbuster. Then it says the capacity to which Tatum could appear is currently unknown, but it's rumored that the Magic Mike star may feature as a character other than Gambit, which I don't think so. I think he's going to be Gambit, a role to which he's been attached for several years. Neither Reynolds nor Marvel Studios have responded to these rumors, and this is coming from Daniel RPK, where he said Ryan Reynolds has talked to Channing Tatum about being in Deadpool 3, even if it's not as Gambit. But I still think it's going to be as Gambit. These are just things that we kind of know here about. And I don't know if anybody has seen it, or if you guys, maybe you have seen it, maybe you haven't, but I'll go ahead and show you the fan art, at least there, that was done of Channing Tatum as Gambit. And after I saw the fan art, after listening to Channing Tatum himself talk about it, I think that he would have made a brilliant Gambit. It's definitely something he wanted to do. It was definitely something he put a lot of time and work into, as far as like he even said that they reworked the script a couple times. They reworked what they originally wanted to do, especially after they saw Logan and Deadpool. I think it was Deadpool, the first Deadpool. After they saw Logan in the first Deadpool, they were like, okay, so we need to up this. We need to make it more this. We need to make it more that. They wanted to play, again, more on that raunchier side of what they wanted this film to be. So I'll let you hear even what Channing Tatum had to say about it here.
We're very excited about Gambit.
Yeah.
Can you tell us where you are with the making of the film and what stages, and what can the audience be most looking forward to?
Yeah, we went and basically rebooted the entire thing. We were writing at a time, and we had a first draft that was really good, but we were trying to find a director that needed to take it to its next place. And then I think it was really at an interesting mark in the trajectory of the superhero movies that it was a bit of a paradigm shift, and we were trying to make something at a time and trying to do some different things, and we just kept running into doors. And then as soon as Deadpool and Logan came out, they just blasted through any problems or any barricades that we had up, so we're really gonna try to change it up now.
Have you got a lot of card tricks that you're going to be learning?
Oh, I'm sure there'll be all that fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of Gambit since I was a kid, so there's a lot of things that I've been looking forward to getting to do for a very, very long time. So I mean, I can't tell you all the good stuff just yet, but yeah.
I'm hoping for some fancy moves.
It shouldn't feel like a big superhero movie. That's my hope for it. It'll feel more like a very tiny sort of New Orleans, crazy, insane film.
And I really hate that he did not get to do this film. I hate that he didn't get to get out there and, do a project that he was passionate about and show, not like he said, it doesn't need to be a big, huge spectacle superhero film. He wanted it to be grounded in Louisiana, focused on Gambit and only Gambit, and I thought that would have been dope. Not only that, he understands and loves the character. As he has said before in another interview I heard him say, he says not like he grew up, he can't name all the X-Men, he can't do all that. He said, I didn't grow up, reading all the comics and things like that. He said, but when I did read, I read about Gambit and I fell in love with that character, and he said he's always loved that character ever since he was a child. So he was pretty sad, he was pretty hurt when he didn't get to do the film, when it was canceled, when it was pulled. So this is coming from Vanity Fair. This is actually coming from Variety on him being upset about what they were going to do. He said the version of Gambit resembled a tone of Deadpool and would have been rated R. Again, I wish we could have gotten this, because we're never going to get anything like that under the mouse. I don't see it. I could see them doing Gambit, but I don't see them doing it resembling the tone of Deadpool and would have been rated R. I don't see the mouse doing that. And it says, we wanted to make a romantic comedy superhero movie. Caroline says, the thesis was the only thing harder than saving the world is making a relationship work. And I'm wondering if that would have been Rogue, if they would have put Rogue in there, but I'm not really sure. And it says, Caroline notes just how close they got. We were right on the 1 yard line, he says. We had the cast, the film, we'd opened up a production office, we were on our way to shoot in New Orleans, but after Disney merged with Fox, Gambit became a casualty of the corporate takeover in 2019. Disney had just gotten the X-Men from Fox, Carolina explained. I think they needed to redesign the X-Men from the ground up, and they're still redesigning the fucking X-Men from the ground up because, like I said, we've talked about this before. Nate Moore said they're in the early stages of bringing the X-Men into the MCU. Then it says Tatum was devastated when the movie fell apart. Once Gambit went away, I was so traumatized, Tatum said, adding that he swore off watching the Avengers. I shut off my Marvel machine. I haven't been able to see any of the movies. I love that character. It was just too sad. It was like losing a friend because I was so ready to play him. I wish they would have reconsidered because it's pretty it's a pretty great project, Carolina says. Maybe someday. Tatum says he'd still portray the mutant if given the chance. Yeah, I'd love to play Gambit. I don't think we should I don't think we should direct it. I think that was hubris on our part. And he went on to say, too, that he also doesn't think that they would want him to direct it either. They would want someone else to come in, or want them, as far, when I say him, I mean he and his team, to go about directing it. Obviously, that's not something Marvel would want. But, you know, those are some of the things there going on. We know that, or at least with Gambit, you know, Channing Tatum coming out here recently, just saying that he still wants to play the role. He's still devastated he didn't get to play the role. And that was some of these interviews are from, you know, like 5 years ago of him talking about some of this stuff, and him still saying that he wants to play the role and things like that. And we also, you know, with the rumor from Daniel RPK that he could possibly be showing up in Deadpool 3 as Gambit, even though some of the wording there is they're saying that he may not, even if he does not show up as Gambit is what they're saying. But I think if he does show up, with Ryan Reynolds knowing how much he wants to play Gambit, with him and Ryan Reynolds having a close friendship and things like that. Like I said, he did show up in Free Guy. You saw Ryan there, you know, high-fiving him and rubbing him on the shoulders and things like that when he walked out on the SDCC stage. They obviously have a working relationship already. So with him knowing the desires of Channing's heart, knowing that he really wants to play this character, I really think that he probably did call Channing up and say, hey, bro, do you want to play that character? Do you want a cameo in Deadpool 3 as Gambit? And you can still do that raunchy version that you wanted to do, because the mouse ain't going to let you do that shit. But you come over here, do this film cameo, you know, blah, 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 blah. You can do the Gambit you wanted to do. And then possibly, maybe even sit down with Marvel at a later date and discuss continuing on as Gambit in the future. I really don't know. I think that the possibilities of him showing up as Gambit in Deadpool 3, I'm going to go 50. I'm going to go 50. 50% chance that he really does show up. Actually, I'm going to go 60. 60% chance that he really does show up as Gambit in Deadpool 3. And this is the last thing I will show. This is Channing Tatum, also from SDCC.
Now, 2 years ago, I feel like I jinxed you because we had a lot of fun talking about Gambit. 2 years ago, we did like the whole audition practically. You flung cards in my head. It was all happening.
It was a good thing, though. It was a good. Thank you for jinxing us, because I think we came out. We were making a movie, and we were trying to make a movie different, you know, than what has, like I was saying earlier, like than what has been coming out with these type of films. And I think it was the luckiest thing in the world that we had some bumps in the road, and I think the bumps in the road came specifically at a time that there was a paradigm shift in these movies, and we got to like witness and learn from two really kind of beautiful like change in guard of movies, you know, with Logan and Deadpool. And
so now you have license to kind of go do something a little bit more different.
They really did break some ground for us, and now we have to figure out what our version of that is, and not just try to go and do whatever that is. And it's fun. It's like good. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube that's always moving. And these things, you know, they're hard. They're tough.
Yeah, bro, he was excited about it. And the more and more I listen to him talk about it, the more and more, you know, when you look at this image even, make sure that image is still up. But even when you look at this image here, or you're looking at, like I said, you're listening to him talk about it, it's just, I wish that would have been done. I would have enjoyed to see that raunchy version of Gambit. I would have enjoyed a rated R Gambit film centered in Louisiana with a romantic type of action film like that, you know. I think it would have been great, bro. And again, I think Channing Tatum deserves the chance to don the role. And it's not like it's out of the scope, because we've seen a lot of actors coming back from the Fox universe portraying these characters. You know, Anson Mount, even though he's not from the Fox universe, Anson Mount came back as Black Bolt. We've seen Sir Patrick Stewart coming back as Professor X. We've seen, and you know, we've got the rumor that Kevin Feige wants to do the farewell to the Fox universe that he didn't get to do, where he got his start under Bryan Singer on the X-Men films. That's where Kevin Feige got his start, and he wants to do a farewell to them, give them a proper goodbye. So with that, with Kevin Feige even knowing that Channing Tatum's Gambit was on the table, he could even say, hey, we still want to give you that proper goodbye. We want to have you coming in as Gambit, let you don the role, and then come in. Again, maybe with the possibilities of him continuing on in the future, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to see if he actually shows up in Deadpool 3 first. But as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking about the Gambit stuff, the things going on with Channing Tatum and him still wanting to be Gambit. What are you thinking about the possibilities of him showing up in Deadpool 3, or the possibilities of him even sitting down with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige and company, and possibly continuing on as Gambit, actually getting to don that role? However, do you think that it can be what Channing Tatum and team wanted it to be under the mouse? I don't think so, but I leave that question to you. Let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Let's see what y'all are saying here. Professor Film Fan said, hey, I hope this Gambit project goes through. So do I, bro. I really, really do. D-Stizzle, appreciate you being here. Josiah Allen, appreciate you being here. He said, I honestly don't want a Gambit solo film yet, but they should make him an integral character for the X-Men in the group eventually. Yes, I don't think that he needs a solo film right now. I think having him showing up now, if this was still the Fox universe, if Fox still owned the X-Men, give him a solo, because who gave a shit about the Fox? Yes, give him his solo film. But within the MCU, no, I don't think so. Within the MCU, I think you do, if the rumors are to be believed from Daniel RPK, you go ahead and you do the cameo in Deadpool 3, and then possibly have him do the farewell with the rest of the Fox guys that we know are coming in to do their Fox farewell with Kevin Feige. And then, like I said, maybe have him continuing on as Gambit moving forward, if that's something that Marvel Studios and company like. But I agree. Dougie Fresh said, I like the idea of Austin Butler. I do too. I like Austin Butler as Gambit too, as MCU Gambit, but maybe they will let Channing be MCU Gambit, or let him be Gambit in some other project. I like the idea of Austin Butler being our Gambit in the MCU, but I still like the idea of Channing Tatum being able, like you said, in another project coming in. This is the multiverse. We're in the multiversal saga right now, so it makes all the sense. He could be showing up, like I said, showing up in Deadpool 3, a completely different Gambit from the Gambit that we're going to get in the main 616 universe. And then boom, that's how you can make that make sense and still allow Channing Tatum to get his feel as Gambit. Then we got Josiah Allen said, Ghost Rider as an urban legend is perfect for the character. It fits a supernatural theme. Look at Werewolf by Night. Yep, I agree. These things we were saying too. See, Jeezy said a lot of people are fan casting Austin Butler as Gambit. Who would be a cheaper hire? Honestly, if it came down to it, I believe Channing would take a pay cut. I think the cheaper hire, the cheaper hire is probably going to be Channing. And I only say that just because of how great Elvis did for Austin Butler, and just how his, just where he is right now. I think the cheaper bid is probably going to be Channing. But let's assume maybe Channing's not the cheaper bid. I guarantee you he would take a pay cut just to play this role, because he wants to play it so bad. So I still think that he's the cheaper one, though. I think Austin Butler's going to be more the money grab. D-Stizzle said, in my opinion, only Wolverine, Cable, Deadpool need films. Like I said, if this was still the Fox universe, if this wasn't the MCU, give that man his solo Gambit film. If this was not the MCU, give him a solo Gambit film. But since this is the MCU, I don't think a solo Gambit film needs to be seen like that. Josiah Allen said, I would love a Midnight Suns / Legion of Monsters show or movie. I'm telling you, that Midnight Suns is on the horizon. It's on the horizon. Raymond 2000 said, I would have liked to see Channing play Gambit, so would I. I thought he would have been, I think it would have been good. I'm on the Austin Butler train too, though. Kenny Pierce said, I could see a Channing Tatum doing a cameo like John Krasinski did in Doctor Strange 2. Just a quick fangasm, and he gets the lethargy of playing the role he never got to. Yeah, I agree. I think you can have him show up, cameo, show up in Deadpool, like I said, and have to be like a whole thing, but have him show up in Deadpool, let him get the feel, let fans actually get to see Channing Tatum as Gambit, and then move on. I agree. Dan the Man said, would love to see Channing Tatum Gambit get a hurry before he passes the torch to someone else. D Sizzle said Wanda, no more Fox X-Men. Mind of Inception said when he came out in this is the end. And then we've got, let's see. Oh, when he came out and this is the end. Oh, yeah. Then we've got Snyder's Seven Wolf that said he's back. Sorry, I was doing homework. Hey, it comes first, bro. Let's see. Hungry Almighty said, what's the Cerebro theory? I've heard you say the theory a couple times, but I never heard the full explanation. It's really not it's not like lengthy or anything like that. The Cerebro theory that's been going around is just that, and I wish I could give credit where it's due, because someone mentioned it to me in the chat. I don't remember who it was though. It was a while ago. But the Cerebro theory is that Charles Xavier, Professor X, has just used Cerebro to wipe the minds of of everyone in the world, of mutants, of the X-Men rather, not maybe of mutants. I don't know. That doesn't make sense with Namor and Kamala Khan, even though I don't know. Anyway, to wipe people's minds of mutants and the X-Men and things like that, and that would explain why the X-Men have not been, why there's been no mention of them, where have they been, why no one remembers them, X, Y, and Z. But I like the Kang theory more. I like the Kang theory that Kang, displaced the X-Men out of fear of the X-Men, out of fear of things that they've, gotten in the way of his plans in other universes and other timelines and things like that. I like that theory more. Then we've got Dan, the man that said Ryan Gosling as Denny Ketch, Richard Rider as Doctor Doom. Possibly so. I'm still interested in what their Gosling is going to look like as the Sentry. Then we got Mind of Inception that said, damn, he seemed really hyped for it. Yeah, bro, he did. Like I said, it's sad. It's sad he didn't get to do it. I love this promo art, this fan art rather. The fan art of him as Gambit is tough. And like I said, I should have pulled the interview up of him doing the accent. That's what I should have done, so you guys could have heard that. Let's see. Snyder Steppenwolf said he has so much passion for my boy. Obviously, Gambit. I'm sorry, this went down. Snyder, I gotta find you again. Hold on. Gotta go back up. Okay. He's so much passion for my boy Gambit, but remember, Nate Moore don't want to hire people who are fans of the comics. Again, Nate Moore's a liar, and the reason I say that is because literally Bo DeMaio is a huge Marvel Comics sweaty nerd, and that's the reason that he was put on Blade. It's also the reason that he was put on X-Men 97, because he knows his shit. Nate Moore's full of shit. So I take anything that man says not literal at all. That may be what he wants. I wouldn't say that's what Marvel wants though. D Stizzle said he didn't read all the X-Men comics. Yeah, no, he didn't read all the X-Men comics. Officially MG said, I think it would have been Gambit and Belladonna. Possibly so. Yeah. On actually, I can see that more than the whole Gambit and Rogue thing for sure. Yeah, I can see that more. We've got Dan, the man that said the script for Gambit was lit. 3 Beast spinoff spec script was booty cheeks. It was the first class beats, and it stole from the Hulk with the Wendigo storyline, and somehow had Jean and Mystique in it. Super massive Werewolf by Night or Ghost Rider game would be dope as fuck. Yeah, I haven't seen anything from the original script. I've seen concept art from what they were going to do, but I haven't seen anything from the original script. Kenny said, let's be real, Gambit comics didn't sell well and always get canceled. No one reads X-Men just for Gambit, and the few whose favorite character is Gambit are probably okay with the content they have. Yeah, like I said, I don't know many people checking for like in the Fox universe, when Fox owned the X-Men, cool. Gambit solo film, go for it. In the MCU, no, it just doesn't work. I don't know. And the same thing with the comics. Like, I never picked up a Gambit comic, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. Nate Moore. I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm sorry. Fuck. I did not mean to call you that shit. I'm sorry. Nathan said, I've never seen a Deadpool film. I don't see him playing Gambit in the MCU, but what do I know? Same. What do I know? Same with me, bro. I don't know shit. I'm just sitting up here, you know, going off of things that are out there in the rumor mill world. But I like the whole Austin Butler thing a little bit more. I could see Austin Butler playing him, but I really do. I would love to see him get his chance at Gambit, regardless of if it's him continuing on in the MCU or just a cameo. Kenny said, last thing we need is a Morbius-style Gambit film. Right. Dan the Man said, we can't say the mouse won't let actors play X, Y, and Z of their version of a character anymore because Werewolf by Night, Eternals, Deadpool 3, and possibly Ant-Man 3 should have obliterated all that. Well, I don't know. They're going to have to show me. And the reason I say they're going to have to show me is because Deadpool 3 is the only reason Deadpool 3 is going the way it is because they were not. And Disney, Marvel, the mouse, they were not getting Ryan Reynolds any other way. Ryan Reynolds made that very, very clear. The only way he said he was going to continue on as Deadpool is if he got to do it the exact same way he got to do it at Fox. So they were willing to play nice there. I don't know what we saw in Eternals that hinted at that, but Werewolf by Night, black and white. You get away with a lot of stuff, you know? The blood that we saw in Werewolf by Night, of course you get to see all that blood because it's in black and white. But the minute you colorize that, you've got a bigger problem on your hands because you have to then make that rated R. Ant-Man 3, I'll have to wait to see it. But as far as, you know, what the mouse, I will say this, though. I do not, and I don't work at the mouse. I don't know what the fuck the mouse is going to do or won't do. But I don't see the mouse doing a raunchy rated R. I don't think they were ever going to do a raunchy rated R Gambit film or make Gambit raunchy at all. The way that Channing Tatum and Caroline wanted to do. So I don't know. I think the jury's still out on that one. Marvel at least has to show me that they're, you know, willing to stick to source material, that they're willing to let some of these characters be true to who they really are in the comics. They're going to have to show me that. Mind of Inception said, you never know. I just hope we on the right timeline where it happens. I agree with you, bro. And let's see, that took me down again. Got to go back up. Grand Region Thrag said, Tatum as Gambit, I don't like because I like Tatum. I think Tatum is a mid-actor. Yeah, that's why I said there at the very beginning when I started talking about the Gambit topic. A lot of people might have problems with that because some people, you know, look at him as not that great of an actor. I will say, for me personally, he has developed over time. I mean, you go back to Step Up. Oof, those were the rough days. But he has developed over time. I think he's developed as an actor over time. He's definitely put in the work. I'll say that. He's put in the work in developing his craft. Hungry Almighty said, I'm sorry. Dan the Man said, nothing off the table. Get Tyler Maine. We're talking about Ray Park to play on the version of there. I mean, they could. They very well could. Granders and Thrax said, Gambit was always my little brother's favorite character growing up. Hope they do Gambit Justice Man. Hungry Almighty said, since the next saga is rumored to be the Mutant Saga, then how about a Gambit or Rogue Disney Plus or Disney special? If they give Disney Plus shows to some mutants, who would you say would need one? I personally... Talking X-Men is so hard. It's hard because I don't know what Marvel wants to do. I'd say give Storm one. I'd say, and I'm only doing the main team here. I'm not doing all the other guys. Storm. I'd say give Scott one just because I want Scott to be leading the team. I want him to be leading the team. So give Scott one, give Storm one, give Jean one. Maybe not Jean. Maybe not Jean. Take Jean away. No, put Jean back. I would... One more. Honestly, I know he's... Honestly, I want a Nightcrawler special. I wouldn't mind a Nightcrawler special at all either. D-Stizzle said, who's playing Gambit, or whoever's playing Gambit, as long as they're comic accurate, that's good enough for me. Dan the Man said, Austin Butler's agents are trying to get him for a Human Torch. If it doesn't work out, they could circle back to him as Gambit. I remember when they said that. I didn't like that when they were reaching out to Marvel for it, and I still don't like it. I don't think Austin Butler would be a good Johnny Storm at all. At all. Austin Butler is the exact same. He acts the exact same way he did as Elvis. Even he's very chill. He's very monotoned. He's very he's just chill, and that's just not Johnny. Now, he's an actor. He could come in and be, he could do something different. But in the things that Austin Butler has played in, I don't get Johnny Storm vibes from him. You've got to come in. You've got to be quippy. You've got to be, somewhat immature, ladies' man. And not that he's not the ladies' man part, but there's a certain personality to me that comes with playing Johnny Storm, and Austin Butler is not that personality. Snyder Stephen Wolf said, we about to get all new, all different Marvel Ghost Rider. Oh, gosh. Again. Oh, God. That's why I checked out. Let's see. There's a lot. You guys are talking a lot on this one. We're going to go down a little bit so I can move to the next. I know. I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Executive Judge said, do you think Wanda's arc's going on is a bit like the Phoenix arc, but potentially done better? She does have a prophecy all about her. Right. I think that needs to... That's why I said Jean, a special for Jean. That needs to be a whole focus on its own. The whole Phoenix, all that needs to be a focus on its own. And I do think that they should give Jean an arc just like just like they did with Wanda. Raymond said, speaking of original scripts, I skimmed through the original Wakanda Forever script, and Ramonda dies the next scene before funeral number 2 is her with the gauntlets to her head about to off herself, and Nakia and Okoye try to stop her, but she blames Okoye, which makes her have to cry, and Nakia talks her down. Yeah, I'll never read that. I won't read any of that shit. Good on you. I'm so glad that you can stomach that shit. I can't stomach anything that... I've said it once. I've said it twice. I'll say it 1,000 more times. When it comes to the Black Panther franchise within the MCU, I'm done. I'm just done. I don't care, bro. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you were gonna do. I don't care unless I don't care what you were gonna do. I don't care what you're gonna do unless what you're gonna do is bring T'Challa back. If you bring T'Challa back, I instantly care again. I instantly care again. I'm not checking for... I know everybody was excited for a Bashanga series and things. I don't care. Your Wakanda Forever series, I don't give a fuck. Your Wakanda Forever special or whatever, miss me. Black Panther 3, fuck off. T'Challa's not in it. Anything involving your Black Panther franchise, I don't give a fuck because T'Challa's not in it. So I'd rather just not think about it than piss myself off with Marvel's decision. So yeah, I could not stomach reading that. Good on you for being able to get through no, because that sounds stupid as fuck. Not interested. Raymond also said, so we're getting suicide scenes in Wakanda Forever. I'm not going to lie. Some stuff in the script was really good, but it would have been better with T'Challa. Like the Border Tribe are foul people. They deleted that. Yeah, I mean, they deleted anything that would have made it a good movie. So, I mean, Wakanda Forever just is what it is. Executive Judge said, oh, I read that one there. Hungry Almighty said the supernatural side of the MCU should be rated R, cough, cough, Moon Knight. I agree with you. Z Stizzle said, for me, artist Jim Lee and artist Clay Mann drew the best versions of Gambit. We've got Brian Fisher that said recast T'Challa. Yes, sir. Snyder Steppenwolf said, I see Austin Butler as Dakin as well. Then we've got Raymond that said, but the script is totally different movie. It's... Sorry, it moved. It's long as hell. Yeah, I believe Ryan said the first cut of the film that they had was a little over 4 hours or something. Whatever. See, Jeezy said, especially with the original 5 X-Men might work. Yeah, I think so too. Dan the Man said, no cap, Austin looked like he could play Johnny years ago when he was on Zoe 1-on-1 and iCarly. Now it's Gambit all day, every day. I agree with you. Snyder 7 was said, facts, Darius, to me. Raymond said, I honestly hope they didn't film that because Letitia would have had to go to therapy after that scene. It was deep. That would have been too much to stomach. The fact that it was even written in was fucking retarded. The fact that it was even written in, the fact that it even became a thought, the fact that Ryan bro, I can't today. I'm not going that direction today. I can't. I don't want to. I don't have the energy to fight with Ryan Coogler and Marvel today about recasting T'Challa. I don't want to do it. I can't. No. But I'm going to finish that thought, though. The fucking fact that popped into Ryan Coogler's head, and then that motherfucker jotted it down and said, oh, that's a good idea. Fucking ridiculous to me. Further add to the credence that I refuse to do anything with Ryan Coogler, Nate Moore in the Black Panther franchise. Why death is so fascinating to him? If death is that fascinating to Ryan Coogler, he needs to be directing horror films. He needs to be directing films that deal directly with death, trauma, and things that are going to make people leaving the theaters holding their fucking stomach because they're so goddamn sick. There's no fucking way that you can tell me that in your right mind, you popped into your head, hey, my best friend, my brother, just died, but here's what we're gonna do. Let's take his mother, his fictional mother, let's have her commit fucking suicide after his... Bro, I can't do it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, you telling me that, Raymond, that's the first time I've heard that, because I refuse to read any of the bullshit that... No. The Black Panther franchise in the MCU is dead. It is dead. It is dead. I'm going to move to the next topic, because that one... oh, shit. That shit just pissed me off. Damn. That shit just pissed me off. What the fuck? Committing suicide, bro. Having fucking... What the fuck? Having Nakia Okoye in Surrey having to talk her off the ledge? Wakanda. Never mind. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic, and the next topic that we're gonna move on here to is going to be the Thunderbolts and things going on in the Thunderbolts. Yes. Let me see. Raymond said. LOL, I'm sorry, Dares. I raised your blood pressure. Bro, that shit pissed me off. Damn, that shit pissed me off. I was like, what the... Like when I know we have recast T'Challa conversations for the day, I come in here prepped and ready, bro. Like mentally, I'm mentally prepared because I know like I'm either gonna go off or I'm gonna stay calm or whatever. That threw me for a loop. because I didn't know. I knew about the original script and things like that, obviously, but I didn't know about what was in it. I didn't know what was said. I didn't know, but that right there, that's bullshit. That's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. Zane Beto said Ryan Coogler and Nate Moore are gonna have veins popping out Darius' head. Oh, I feel you, bro. It just doesn't make sense. Like I at what point when writing the script did he think to himself, this is a great idea? Like, we're already dealing with death. The whole script that I rewrote is depressing, morbid, and dealing with death. But you know what would really set this fucking bitch off? A suicide. And not just any suicide. A suicide from the fucking Queen Mother who just lost her son. What the fuck? What? What the fuck? What the I'm trying to envision what that would have even translated and looks like on screen. No, bro. No. This man has to go. He has to go, bro. He's gotta go. That needs to be the new hashtag. Hashtag Ryan's gotta bounce. Like, he has to go, and he's gotta take Limemore with him in the I know I have said, I mean this when I say this. The cast and crew and everybody that knew Chadwick has every right to feel the way that they feel, but if you cannot put your feelings to the side, if you cannot come into BP3 and do it justice, do it in the same spirit that you did BP1 with. I understand Chadwick Boseman passed away. I get that. But when we were talking about the Golden Globes a few days ago, when we were talking about how Angela Bassett was the first person to ever win that high of an award for Marvel, well, DC's done it twice. And where the fuck did they do it twice? With two different actors that portrayed the same fucking character. Heath Ledger won an Academy Award for his portrayal of the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix won an Academy Award for his portrayal of the Joker. We are now, by putting T'Challa to rest, you're looking at every other black male actor and saying your chances of winning an Academy Award or any award for playing this character is gone. Your chance of being the next brother that the community looks up to, that young black boys, young men, young whatever, it's gone. Because we decided to be selfish, we decided to be morbid as fuck and kill the character. That script, that part in it, boy, fuck that shit. Fuck that. No. That's some bullshit. Okay. I really am gonna move now. I'm gonna try to remember even what I was gonna say here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my mind back to the fucking Thunderbolts. Good job, Raymond. Let me read some of these ones here. Sorry. Grace said, at Darius, I'm not going to talk about Recast T'Challa today, but I'm going to finish this thought. The chat. Raymond said, I'm not even done with the script. 3. Oh, really? Did they? No, I don't want to read it. Never mind. Dan the Man said, tread carefully on Recast T'Challa. Yeah. Snyder 7 Wolf said he got notes from Tyler Perry. Had to. Raymond said no. Shuri was about to commit suicide after Ramonda's death. Okay. Okay, well that doesn't make it any fucking better. And the reason that doesn't make it any better is because this is the person that you want to make your fucking Black Panther. So the person that So the individual that you want to make Black, or that you made Black Panther, you had also in the original, the original. I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. The original rewritten script, because the original script was a T'Challa vehicle. Let's never forget that. Let's never forget that tidbit. The original script, the OG script that Chadwick was a part of, that Chadwick helped write, was a T'Challa vehicle. This rewritten OG script before Wakanda Forever, before what we saw in Wakanda Forever, I guess had Shuri committing suicide. So what you're telling me is that the person, the actor, the actress, the character herself that you had taking on the mantle that everybody's so fucking worried about, the mantle of Black Panther, you had her committing or about to commit suicide? What is that like? I'm not. I don't look up to Shuri anyway, you know. So that I'm not saying. How am I trying to say this? Give me the words, Father. I don't want to say this incorrectly. Okay, I'm not checking for Shuri. I wasn't looking up, and that's not me being misogynistic, because I like the character. I like her in the comics. I like her in the MCU. It has nothing to do with that shit. But then how do you then look up to that hero? How do you then, you know, I don't know, bro. Like, Wakanda has been through so much bullshit in the MCU. The Queen Mother died. T'Challa's died 3 fucking times, and on top of that, you were about to kill the next person that you had succeeding him. You had them about to commit suicide, and Okoye and Nakia had to talk her off a goddamn ledge. I don't. That's not. This franchise is so dead, bro. It's because some of these things, Coogler's gonna. I'm trying to think on, like, where could they even go with? Yeah, you know what? That shit don't make it no better. That's some bullshit, bro. That's some bullshit. Let's see. Keita, appreciate you being here. Felicity, appreciate you being here. This might be controversial, but Kevin Feige needed to put his white guilt aside and tell these actors and crew to pull themselves together. Chadwick would have wanted them to put their best forward. I agree with you, Mike. Yes, Felicity, I agree with you completely. Like, and I love the terminology there. Kevin Feige needed to put his white guilt to the side. I love that for sure. He should have, because, you know, and I want to slap myself too. Let me put myself in check. And the reason I'm putting myself in check, and I know we're diverting from the topics here, but the reason I'm putting myself in check is because I have given, when it comes to recast T'Challa, just simply because his name has not been in the mix of things outside of the announcement he made at 2023's Disney Investor or D23 or whatever the hell it was, when he had made the announcement that T'Challa wouldn't be in the MCU anymore. Because his name is, he's not one of the ones out here doing the interviews. He's not one of the ones out here talking Wakanda Forever. I don't even think I've heard Kevin Feige really say too much about Wakanda Forever, other than that it was supposed to have been one of the most important films of Phase 4. I need to check myself, because I have not been checking Kevin Feige. And it's the reason I haven't been checking him is for what I just said. You know, his name really hasn't been involved with a lot of this stuff. But as Felicity just said, he should have put his white guilt to the side, stepped up as fucking president of Marvel Cinematic, of the MCU, of Marvel Studios. He's the president over there. He has no problem voicing his opinion whenever something is shown in a trailer that he doesn't like. He has no problem voicing, you know, answering fans on the red carpet when asked is Namor going to get solo projects, and you know, he has no problem answering questions like that. He has no problem getting into the thick of things when it's outside of the current controversy with recast T'Challa. And I think again, as president of this fucking studio, you should have been at the forefront of this. You should have, instead of just the announcement that you made saying that T'Challa was not going to be continuing on in the MCU, you should have stepped in and said, whoa, 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 whoa. Because we all like to put it on, and me, I mean, let me say me. I'm not going to say we all. Me. I'm forever praising Kevin Feige. I'm forever saying Feige this or Feige that or Feige this or Feige that. You know, Feige's knowledge of the MCU, Feige's knowledge of Marvel Comics, Feige, you know, I'm forever praising Feige. But with all that knowledge, with all that presidential power, where the fuck were you when all this was going on? Where were you when they walked in the room and decided within seconds that they weren't going to recast T'Challa? Where were you whenever you read this script, the original script that Chadwick helped write? You read that, then you read this, and you still approved it. Where were you during all of this? Feige should have stepped in, said, whoa, 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 whoa. There's too much story with T'Challa that still has to be told. The character is too important to the Marvel universe, not just the MCU, but to the Marvel universe, for us to just erase him out of the cinematic universe that we've built. He's far too important. So that I thank you, Felicity. I agree with you, and I'm checking myself on that because I've not really gone at Feige for any of this. You know, we talked about when he said that, what was that interview he did a couple months back where he said at the time they felt it was just too soon. You know, I even gave Feige praise then, but as time has gone on, I have been coming out and saying that was just to hush us. That was just to silence the recast crowd. They said, Feige, we need you to get out here as the president and kind of simmer them down a little bit. Can you just go out there and maybe word it a certain way? Go out there and say to your, tell them, at the time we just felt it was too soon, blah, 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 blah. I don't remember the whole quote. But at the time we just felt it was too soon. Can you go out there and just simmer them the fuck down? You know, bro, he's as to blame just as much as Ryan Coogler. Just as much as Nate Moore, just as much as the rest of them, because he is president of this fucking studio. It's the same way I like when I hound Kathleen Kennedy. She is the president, or is soon on her way out. She's the current president over Lucasfilm. And I go at Kathleen because of the current direction of Star Wars. And it's no different with the current direction of the BP franchise. You being the president, Kevin Feige, need to put your foot down and start making tough decisions. Actually, let me strike that tough word, because it's not a tough decision. Start making the right decisions. So, bro, like, I really did not plan on talking to T'Challa today. I really did not. I did not plan on talking to T'Challa today. But here we are. But for real though, let's move, guys. I do need to get to this other, and I see everybody. I see what you guys are all saying too. I need to get to this next topic though, but yeah, bro, I won't be reading that script. Needless to say, let's see. Okay, this is Thunderbolts news, and this is coming from the Direct, and this is talking about the Thunderbolts are going to be entering into. Starting production, I believe they're going to start filming in June. But let's jump into the article and see what the Direct had to say about that. And it says Thunderbolts begins filming later in 2023. Variety confirmed that Marvel Studios will begin shooting its upcoming Phase 5 film Thunderbolts in June 2023, 13 months ahead of the theatrical debut. This came while the outlet spoke with Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus, about the time she spent playing her role since early in Phase 4 of the MCU. Louis-Dreyfus looked back on her time shooting Black Widow in The Falcon and Winter Soldier, remembering how Marvel had her go to set wearing a black cloak with a hood so that she couldn't be seen in costume for secrecy purposes. Then she goes on to say, there's so much secrecy around it. When I first started shooting, I had to go to set wearing a black cloak with a hood and keep my head down so nobody could see it was me walking onto the soundstage. Sebastian Stan's suiting up in summer of 2023. And this is where they say here, This shooting time frame gives Thunderbolts plenty of time to complete filming before release. With this being one movie that's avoided any delays from Marvel Studios, and with it being the current final movie in Phase 5, the back half of 2023 will be vitally important for Thunderbolts as it looks to bring this team into the MCU for the first time. With 5 months remaining until Thunderbolts begins principal photography, there is still plenty of work for Marvel to do with the Phase 5 movie before it gets in front of a camera. Rumors have teased that Stranger Things star Sadie Sink may be in line for a key supporting role as Songbird, and other reports have indicated that Marvel has its eye on megastar Ryan Gosling to take on the MCU's Sentry and play the movie's main villain. While Sebastian Stan and his castmates get ready for their next MCU outing, fans continue to wait for new reports with fresh information on how the Multiversal Saga's second phase of projects will come to a close. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we kind of already knew there too about what's going on in the Thunderbolts film. We know that Sadie Sink is rumored to be Songbird. We also know that Ryan Gosling is rumored to be showing up as Sentry. I don't even know if that's even so much a rumor as is just fact now. Although Marvel Studios has not announced anything, too many credible insiders have collaborated the exact same thing, that Ryan Gosling will be portraying the Sentry, or portraying Sentry in the MCU. So that's still gotta see that. I still gotta see that. I just don't see Ryan Gosling, but still gotta see that. So then last thing it says, Thunderbolts will begin filming this June ahead of its July 26, 2024 debut in theaters. So we do know it's coming. We've talked about Thunderbolts quite a bit over here. You know, we know that Dreyfuss is going to be in it. She also did that interview. She did an interview with Variety too, where she was saying she talked to Marvel and she was wanting her MCU counterpart to be more akin to her comic book counterpart. She said that she picked up a couple comics. She's read some things on the character. She said the character actually, gets into some combat, action fights, and things like that. She said she would really love to see that played out for her character on the big screen. So we could be seeing Dreyfuss. I mean, she is a part of the Thunderbolts team, so we could be seeing her doing some action things and getting into some combat, fighting, and whatever. But we do know that the team is coming, and from what David Arbor has said, he said we're a group of misfits, just a bunch of guys thrown together on a team. I believe that General Thunderbolt Ross is still going to be involved, seeing as he's going to put the team together. We know that they're going to be the island of Tiamat, Tiamat Island at that. It doesn't actually, let me rephrase that. It has a different name. I don't remember the name that they said that it was going to be called. It's not Tiamat Island, because that would then infer that the general public in the MCU would have to know that Celestial's name was Tiamat. And the only people that knew that, I believe, were the Eternals and the Eternals themselves. And seeing as they are not here, I don't know how the world, the Marvel Cinematic Universe world, would know that that's Tiamat. So it's going to be a different, I forget the name, but it's not Tiamat Island. It's something else. But they're going to be governments around the world are going to be trying to harvest the adamantium that Tiamat produces from the island and things like that. So we know that that's going to be a plot line within the Thunderbolts as well. So those are some of the things we know there. We're going to be waiting on some more Thunderbolt news, but it looks like they're going to start filming June, again 13 months before the movie is set to debut in July of 2024, July 26th of 2024. So, as always, question is for you guys. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking about this release date that's going to be coming out for, or the release date, or not the release date, but the date that they're going to start filming and shooting things for Thunderbolts. What are you guys thinking about that? What are you guys thinking about Sadie Sink being Songbird? What are you thinking about Ryan Gosling being the Sentry? Still got to see what that's going to look like. What do you think about the things going on with Tiamat and the adamantium that to me that just gets us closer to the X-Men, things like that. So you guys let me know down below what you guys are thinking about all of those things going on. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. I got Felicity that said Val Elaine is a piss poor replacement for Nick Fury. Yeah. She has not been. I was gonna read that interview, but she was long-winded in that interview, so I didn't read it. I just kind of surmised some of the things from it. But she seems like she wants more of that Nick Fury role moving forward. Like she wants to do bigger and better things. Like she said in that interview that she has picked up comics and she's read more about Val and things like that. And the things that she's read about Val, she said she wants the character to be more like the comic character. So maybe we could be seeing. I agree with you. She's still a piss poor replacement, but maybe we could be seeing some things where she's moving forward, doing more in the role as Val. I don't really know, but she has voiced her concerns on that as well. Dougie Fresh said, "I still think it's a whack team, but I'm interested to see what leaks and rumors are true." Same. I still think that roster is. It's not the roster I expected. That's not. Let's just say that. That's not what I expected. That's not. I remember D23 specifically when they announced it. I remember we were like, everybody over. It's on our live streams. In one of our live streams, we were like, "Oh, that's the team." Okay. And again, I still say that because Sentry is the main villain. What the fuck is this Thunderbolts team doing with Sentry? What the fuck are they going to do with Sentry, bro? We'll see. Dougie Fresh said, "I need a good reason as to why Bucky's on this team." I'm telling you, this roster. Bro, I don't know why Bucky's on this team. I have no idea. D Stizzle said, "I got enough smoke for everyone at Marvel Studios." Josh said, "Gosling ripped right now, so he low-key working out." Is he ripped right now? Okay, so I like I said, the last thing I saw Gosling do was some behind-the-scenes footage of Barbie, and he was in bright pink skates with a fanny pack, a bright pink tank top, and he screamed. He did a shriek, a loud Ken Barbie shriek. That's the last thing I saw. But if he's ripped and getting jacked right now, that's great. That's great. Hungry Almighty said, "Both Ryan Gosling and Alexander Skarsgård were rumored to be Sentry. Which actor do you prefer between the two of them playing Sentry?" If I had to pick, I would prefer Skarsgård be Hyperion, since we're not going to get Cavill as Hyperion. I would prefer Skarsgård be Hyperion, and if I'm going to make him Hyperion, I would keep Gosling Sentry. Raymond said, "I hate Val with a passion. She's a waste of a character for Luis to play." Yeah. Yep. D Stizzle said, "Songbird is the only character that makes sense on this week roster." You guys remember when we talked about Sadie Sink coming in as Songbird? We talked about that a little bit. I think we all said the same shit then too, because this roster still doesn't make sense, and I still don't know what they're doing with Sentry. So, Josh said, "Gray Man movie on Netflix gives you a tease." C. Jeezy said, "Not excited yet. Maybe a trailer will help." Yeah. Hungry Almighty said, "It makes more sense for Bucky to be in Captain America 4, not the Thunderbolts." It absolutely does. And if we're to believe the original rumors, and let me kind of give you guys a little New World Order news that I've heard. Obviously, the Serpent Society is still involved in New World Order. That's just what we're hearing right now. Remember last week or the week before we talked that the Serpent Society is getting moved to a different project, but it looks like they're still getting moved to a different project, but they're still involved with New World Order. And if they're still involved with New World Order, then possibly, Bucky is still involved with New World Order, because remember, he was supposed to be, he was in those original rumors that came out a couple months ago for New World Order that were linked with Serpent Society, but not just that, Moon Knight was too. I think Moon Knight's been completely taken out, because that never made any fucking sense to me, why Moon Knight was going to be in it, but he still may be in it. Let's see. D Stizzle said, "There's nothing female fatal about Elaine from Seinfeld." Yeah, that too. Felicity said, "Bucky should have been in Wakanda Forever. Don't go off again, Darius." He should have been. He fucking should have been. Damn it. No, I'm not going to go off, but damn it, he should have been. It doesn't make sense that he wasn't. He spent all his time with these people, with over in Wakanda, like they... I digress. Kenny said, he's not in Captain America 4. The rumors, coupled with the Serpent Society, had him in it. Anything we've talked about recently with New World Order, with any of the new leaks have come out or rumors, have not mentioned Bucky. I'm not sure. J.O. Wolf, appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Connoisseur Triple Salute said, Bucky's supposed to be reformed, right? Kind of backsliding or sliding if he's on the Thunderbolts team. I'm going to let's let that marinate. But you're so fucking right. D Stizzle said Bucky was only on the Thunderbolts for a short comic run. He wasn't a mainstay on the team. Hawkeye, Luke Cage makes more sense for him. Yeah. Ashra said Disney say they're going to put Wakanda Forever in February. Yeah, I saw that. So if you don't follow me on my Instagram, I typically will share stuff on my story that either the MCU Direct Instagram will post or whatever. I follow a lot of different, Marvel, Star Wars, DC, Screen Rant. I follow all those accounts on my Instagram. I shared that today on my Instagram when they said that. And I said, when I shared it, this is why I captioned it, I have never seen, correct me if I'm wrong, I have not seen Marvel Studios push a film harder than they have pushed Wakanda Forever. When it comes to advertisement, when it comes to this fucking merch that's not selling, when it comes to now it being released in China, they're moving it back from February 1st to February 8th with Disney Plus. I've not seen them push any fucking film harder than they're pushing Wakanda Forever. And I want to ask them, for why? For why? Why are you pushing this film so hard? What's different about this film than any of the other films? I know why. It's a money thing, really. That's why they're pushing Wakanda Forever so hard. Because as much as the average viewer, the average goer to the movies, movies goer would like to tell you that Wakanda Forever did great in the box office. No, by whose standards? By yours? Because I can tell you by Marvel standards, I think they expected another 1.3 bill. I really do. I think they expected another 1.3 bill. And because they didn't get that, they are continuing to push it harder. That's why it's not on Disney Plus now like it was supposed to be. They gave it that extended window in the theaters. Why? Because it under fucking performed. Now they're releasing it in China. Now they moved it back, from its release date, its original release date for Disney Plus. Because it's underperforming. They need it to do more. They need more of that money. It didn't do that 1.3 bill. So regardless of all the delusional brainwashed motherfuckers that come in here and say, it did fucking Tony the Tiger numbers, it was great. No, the fuck it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That's why Marvel is still advertising the fucking shit out of it with Quantumania on the hill. Quantumania is right or on the horizon, bro. They're still promoting Wakanda Forever harder than they're promoting Quantumania. What? Yes, Ashra, I did see it. See, Jeezy said Skarsgård as Sentry, Alan Ritchson for Hyperion would be my choice. We got Josh that said Bucky does all this reform and character building just to be put into a villain team. Yeah. Snyder said Darius about to become World War Hulk after this stream. Josh said why MCU going backwards with character building. Yeah, man, it doesn't make sense. that's why I can't wait to see some projects from Phase 5. I need to see the course correction. I need to see things start to look better. You know, because when we read leaks and rumors and things like that, sometimes we're like, ooh, that sounds dope. That sounds like back to that old Marvel formula. But then we'll read some shit that's like, bro, they're still doing this shit? Like, this still sounds like Phase 4 material formula here. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Kenny said he's still the poster boy for sidekicks right there next to Robin. Snyder said, where's Zemo? Booyah, where's Zemo? Where's Atlas? Like missing core Thunderbolt members. So, this is what we know about Zemo. I was shocked at D23 when he wasn't in that picture. I was like, okay, where the fuck is Zemo? But some people speculate that if you go to the Thunderbolts website or whatever website it is, Zemo is in the URL. His name is in the URL. So people are assuming that that means that Zemo is still going to be a part of the team. And I believe Zemo's still going to be a part of the team too, because Zemo is connected. Zemo's in connection with Songbird. I mean, Songbird has ties to Zemo. So I'm hoping that they don't just completely erase Zemo from the Thunderbolts film because like, what the fuck? Like, you know, that doesn't make sense to me. So I would hope that Zemo is still in it. Felicity said they probably are trying to move away from Sebastian Stan because maybe he's about to get paid tons because of all his appearances in the MCU. Just a thought. That, honestly, too, that's a thought, too. They could be trying to, you know, I don't know how true this is. I saw something. I didn't read it, but I saw something where Jeremy Renner asked Marvel to do away with his character or something. I please don't quote me on that. I want to say I saw it, like maybe somebody sent it to me or I saw it on Twitter or something, but I didn't read it. Let's see. D-Sizzle said a severely injured John Walker was wardened at the raft. Yeah. Snyder said that's what happens when you kill off the franchise character. Yep. Josh said Cap, Wakanda Forever, just another Marvel movie. I don't see it pushed hard. I'm telling you, but look at what they're doing though. Look at all the advertisement they're doing for it. Like just today, they made the announcement about the whole China thing. Not only that, like go to. I don't know if anybody. I'm assuming everybody here has an Instagram. I don't know if you already do. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Follow the MCU Direct on Instagram, and you tell me what they're pushing more. What are they putting more out of? What is Marvel talking about more? If you go to their page, it's Wakanda Forever. Everywhere. Wakanda Forever. Everywhere on there. Yeah, they've got their other stories like this one and the others we've read. But you might get a different story, Wakanda. Different story, Wakanda. Different story, Wakanda. Wakanda. Different story, Wakanda. It's like, that's what Marvel's talking about, so that's what the trades are talking about. So I'm telling you, bro, they're definitely pushing this shit. Raymond said, better question is, why is Zemo? Snyder said, let's hope. Gray said they lost money. They won't come out and say it. Yeah, Chapek didn't get fired on his day off for nothing. Right. Again, I'm going to leave that there. Let that marinate. Mind of Inception said Ant-Man 3 is like the last stick holding it all together for me. If this flops, honestly, I don't even know. I'm telling you, if this doesn't do good, I don't know. If this doesn't do good, Marvel's up a shit's creek. Grand Regent Thrak said Zemo was in the original advertisement I first saw for the movie being made. I still think he's involved. I really do. Josh said they went back and forth. Wakanda Forever went backwards on the story of Black Panther. Yeah, Bucky going backwards with his progress. Then soon Hulk. Even though I hate this Beta Hulk. Yeah, bro. We talked about that too. We've talked about the whole fucking Smart Hulk stuff. Snyder said it's the MCU Earth 199999. They don't give a damn about the source material anymore. And then Josh said, I think Hulk being a rage monster again, that's what I want personally. That's just me. Raymond said, this isn't even a Black this isn't even a Black Panther. Shuri left Wakanda and went to her brother's baby daddy's house where his kid is there. Snyder said Ant-Man 3 will make or break the MCU. I low-key agree, bro. JD75 said, sorry, I keep going back to Black Panther, but blind stupidity just bothers me. No sense to not recast the main character. No, I agree with you. But you know what? You don't have to be sorry about going back to it, because I feel like that's what it's always going to come back to. Anytime we talk about Marvel stuff that involves Black Panther, like where T'Challa's presence is notably missing, like with the Fantastic Four, like with Secret Invasion, like with Secret Wars, and some of these other stories coming up, it's always going to come back to that. That conversation's always going to get brought back up. It's always going to come back to, but T'Challa. D-Sizzle said, I bet I'm not on the gram. Are you not on there? JB Easy said, we need Joe Fixit. I don't think we're getting Joe Fixit, but I think they're going to adapt some Joe Fixit things onto Red Hulk. We talked about that a little bit. Thank you for the the subscription, Felicity. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. But from what we talked about, what was it, last week? I think it was last week we were talking about some of the stuff going on with Red Hulk. Looks like they're going to adapt some of that Joe Fixit onto Red Hulk. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Ashra said, this movie is already bootlegged. I saw this movie 2 days after it came out in North America, but it was out 3 weeks initially, hence why pirators had it. Why put movies out early and elsewhere first? Yeah. Don't know. Let me see. Raymond said, everything is riding on Ant-Man 3. A lot of fanboys will say Marvel is king and everything is sunshine and rainbows and strawberries, but it's not. It's not. You shills. Stop letting the cash blind you and look. Look up. Open your eyes. The empire is falling. You know what? It's sad. I'm hoping that, again, the course corrections are made for Phase 5 and that we start seeing Marvel back in the glory days of Marvel. Astra said, just get my comment about Doctor Strange 2. Oh, I did not see it. Let me see. While Doctor Strange ended up with 945 billion in 45 days. Million? Didn't have 945 million. But this false identity, politics, representation, why not do the same Doctor Strange? Talk about the original Doctor Strange, sorry. Same for Doctor Strange 2. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like I've said anytime when we talk about Marvel, the MCU rather. The MCU is going to do what the MCU is going to do. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to do, just obviously, T'Challa. Look at some of the other changes that have been made throughout the MCU. They have what they want to do, and that what they want to do is what they want to do, and that's what it is. I'll read this last one here from Snyder, and then move to the next topic. Snyder said, I don't know where the future is going. It's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in the X-Men group, so I think it's outdated. Oh, I remember when Victoria Alonso said that. I remember when she said that. She needs to go too. But let's move here to the last topic. And the last topic that we're going to move here is Loki Season 2 rumors. And the rumor is that Loki Season 2 is going to have multiple Kang variants in the series. This I'm excited for because, remember, we've talked about Loki Season 2 before, and when we talked about it, some of the things that I heard about Loki Season 2 and that, was going on in the rumor mill was that it was going to be involving an older version of Sylvie. She was going to be the main antagonist for the film, and it was going to be, for the show, and it was going to be them hunting down the older version of Sylvie. Now, early, before we heard anything about an older version of Sylvie, we heard that Victor Timely, which is a variant of Kang, Victor Timely was going to show up in the series also. But then after we heard that about Victor Timely, months went by. We didn't hear another thing about Victor Timely. And we only heard these things that I'm now currently talking to you guys about the, older version of Sylvie and things like that, and what's going to be going on in the series. Originally, a couple months back when they were talking about the older version of Sylvie, they were saying that Kang's involvement was really not heavy in the show at all, which I was confused about. I was like, well, how the fuck does that work? Because when we last saw the TVA, it was being ran by Kang. We know that Loki now knows who Kang is. The whole brilliant scene of him coming in saying, he's terrifying, he knows everything, he's seen everything. He already knows all of this stuff is going on right now. So that part never made sense to me. So now seeing that they're saying that we're going to have multiple Kangs, as we should, involved in the show makes a bit more sense. And I will read this from Daniel RPK. This is what Daniel RPK had to say. He said, Jonathan Majors recently filmed scenes as a variant of Kang for Loki Season 2. He also says the series will feature several Kang variants and have serious ramifications for the MCU. But this is what the direct had to say. The direct said, according to a new rumor, Jonathan Majors' Kang will have multiple variants show up in Season 2 of Tom Hiddleston's Loki series on Disney+. The Loki-centric MCU project first aired in 2021, where it introduced the foredoing character of He Who Remains, played by Majors. In the first season's finale, the questionable character warned the God of Mischief about himself and the consequences of the multiverse being free. With Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the world is about to get its first look at what exactly he was talking about. Paul Rudd Scott Lang will have to go up against none other than Kang the Conqueror, a warrior version of He Who Remains. Now, before Loki's season or second season finally arrives, New Whispers reveals some exciting new information about what fans can expect regarding the presence of the MCU's Big Bad. Then it goes on to say industry insider Daniel Richman revealed some new rumored details on Jonathan Majors' role in Loki's second season. On his Patreon, Richman noted there will be multiple Kang variants in Loki Season 2. Additionally, a week ago, he shared that Jonathan Majors recently filmed more scenes for the project. Oh, I didn't know that was in the article. Then it says Jonathan Majors recently filmed more scenes as a variant of Kang for Loki Season 2. For Loki. The season will have more time travel. Then it says Richmond went on to share an additional interesting tidbit about the upcoming season, explaining how the show will introduce a new concept called Time Loom. Now, I love this because we talked about this. We talked about the whole Time Loom thing. Time Loom is going to be it's a device that the TVA is going to be using. I think it's going to be the same device that Deadpool and Wolverine, just from what we know about some of the leaked rumors here with Deadpool and Wolverine, Time Loom was talked about in the leak for Deadpool 3. That they're going to have that same Time Loom device that's going to allow them to maneuver throughout different parts and time, different parts of the universe and anything like that. I think they talk about the Time Loom here. Let me see. But it says, it is the source of the TVA's power. They're using the energy from the time stream to absorb it. It's important to note that all of this information is a rumor and none has been officially confirmed by Marvel Studios or Disney. So yeah, we talked about the whole Time Loom thing. I find that interesting that I like that that's going to be introduced in Loki. And I think we talked about that. I think we said that when we were talking about Deadpool 3 and we were talking about, all the elements that are going to be added into Deadpool 3, Danger being the villain, Danger Room, Danger being the villain, being Danger Room from Xavier Mansion, the AI sentient being. Knowing that we're going to see multiple Deadpools and multiple Wolverines, we're going to see the TVA, this being the first time we see the TVA involved outside of Loki interacting with the wider MCU. Owen Wilson is not just a cameo. He's going to be he's a main character in the film. We've also heard about the whole time loom thing. That's when we were talking about that, time loom being the device that Logan and Wade are going to be using, moving through the multiverse. We know that the OG Fantastic Four is rumored to also be showing up in the film. Now, even Gambit is rumored to be showing up in the film. So, Deadpool 3, before even any of this was even added to it, was always on my most anticipated. And adding all of this makes it even more on my most anticipated list. So, I'm pretty stoked and hyped to see Kang and everything like that. This is what they go on to say, though. Will Loki see the real Kang? After the first season's ending, it seemed inevitable, much like Thanos himself, that Tom Hiddleston leading character would be running into more of He Who Remains variants at some point. The bigger question is more so when any versions of Major's villains will show up during the season. Will it be throughout the season, or will audiences have to wait until the finale once again? It better be throughout. Additionally, could the second season connect to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in any way? Maybe Hiddleston will get to meet the variant of Kang who went up against the Ant family, but if he does, then that probably doesn't bode too well for Scott Lang. Well, it doesn't bode well for Scott Lang, and we know that from the plot leak. Scott's got to get his ass beat. The whole entire Ant family is about to get their asses beat. The only one, from what we know about the rumor, is Cassie is the only one that makes it out. Cassie and I believe MODOK are the only two that make it out of the quantum realm at the end of the film. So yeah, it's not going to bode well for Scott at all. And then it says if the rumor of more than one Kang is true, then this will be the first time fans see multiple versions of Major's villain in one project, as opposed to them being spread across different versions. It opens the door to lots of awesome storytelling potential. Fingers crossed that Marvel Studios is able to utilize it best way they can. And as I've said before, and I'm going to say this, I think almost every time we talk about Kang and the MCU, we need to be seeing Kang conquer other universes. We need to see, they say multiple variants. Are we going to see Rama Tut? Are we going to see Immortus? Are we going to see an Iron Lad? They've already mentioned Victor Timely, the Scarlet Centurion. Are we going to see him? Are we going to see some other ones? Cross Time. Are we going to see? Who are some other ones? I'm blanking on some of the other variants that Kang is. Are we going to see any of these versions of Kang popping up? Are those the versions we're talking about? So they've already mentioned Victor Timely. Hopefully many others. I mentioned that possibly Rama Tut showing up in Moon Knight Season 2. That possibility is there. Franklin, as Felicity said, we've got a whole bunch of different variant options that we can choose from here with Kang. I'm just curious to know where they're going to go with it for sure. But I do want to, I'm excited for it. And I will share, this is the last thing I'll share here with this topic. And this is the last topic. But the last thing I'll share here, this is what Marvel shared today. And it is a Kang, they called it a Kang teaser. This is a Kang teaser from Marvel for Quantumania. So like I said, I'm really excited for Kang and Quantumania.
It's okay, breathe. We're gonna get out of this. And we're gonna go home.
This place, it isn't what you think. It's a cage. But we can help each other.
He's a monster. You cannot trust him.
I'm just a man. But I know how it ends.
I don't care what he can do. He's not getting out.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Experience it in 3D February 17th. Get tickets now.
Yeah, bruh, I'm telling you, I'm hyped for the Kang stuff. I really am. I'm hyped for Jonathan Majors as Kang. I'm hyped. Like, I love that. You know, let me go back to that. I'm sorry. Just the dialogue from Kang here.
Each. But we can help each other.
He's that monster. You cannot trust him.
I'm just a man. But I know how it ends.
That right there. I'm just a man, but I know how it ends. I love that. I love that. I love the cryptic, like how cryptically he speaks to Scott. Like again, the trailer that still has not been shown, and I'm okay with it actually. I'm okay with this trailer not being shown because it adds to the hype of me seeing it on the big screen. When Kang's walking up to Ant-Man and says, and this was the trailer shown at D23, and he says to Ant-Man tells him, hey buddy, you might want to chill out. I'm an Avenger. To where Kang replies, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you before? And then the look on Scott's face is so confused. Then Kang says they all start to blend together after a while. I love the cryptic talking because he's literally time. He is time. He knows how it ends. He knows how it begins. He's quite literally the Alpha and the Omega. Like he's the beginning and the end when it comes to the MCU. When it comes to, you know, so I love it. I love the cryptic dialogue. I love seeing, you know, like Kevin Feige said. We talked about this yesterday when Kevin Feige said, you know, Kang's trying to get his power back in Quantumania. So the power that we're going to see him as, how powerful we see him in Quantumania, that's not going to even touch how strong, because this Kang is the Kang. This is going to be the Kang that is going to be getting chased, if we're to believe the plot leaks. This is the Kang that is going to be getting chased out of the quantum realm into Kang Dynasty by the Fantastic Four. Again, take that with a grain of salt. Hope and Scott chasing him out of the quantum realm, entering into Kang Dynasty. Obviously, boom, the events of Kang Dynasty are then going to go to a fold. So I love that, bro. I love seeing, you know, because this, like I said, this Kang is the Kang. So when we see him in Kang Dynasty, when we see him in Secret Wars, because a Kang variant also is supposed to be the Beyonder. I don't know if it's this Kang or not, but a Kang variant is supposed to be the Beyonder. So that Kang variant would have to be the strongest one, you know? Like, yes? So I'm assuming that this Kang maybe, like, gets the powers of the Beyonder to become the Kang. I don't know. But, again, like Kevin Feige said, in this, he has to get his power back. So we're not even seeing him at his full strength in this in Quantumania, and that's what's exciting for me. Not just that, and seeing the scene of him doing the energy blast. There was the scene from the trailer of him on the hoverboard where he just stepped off the hoverboard, bro. Just give Jonathan Majors his flowers now. I think it's just he's about to seriously become a household name. This looks like it's going to be great, so I'm definitely here for it. But, you know, as always, guys, question is for you. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking about the new reports coming from Daniel Richman about there being multiple Kangs and not just it being centered around the older version of Sylvie, if that's even still on the table. Haven't heard anything about that in a while. So if that's even still on the table, looks like Victor Timely still could be on the table. I love the whole time loom concept being introduced, and we're going to see that even in Deadpool 3. So you guys let me know down below what you guys are thinking about some of these new reports coming out for Kang and for Loki Season 2. Let's see what you guys are saying. Josh said, are we Jonathan Majors? Are we Jonathan Majors as Jonathan Majors? Let's see. Yes, Jonathan Majors as Jonathan Majors. It will be, yeah, so it'll be Yeah, it'll be Jonathan Majors portraying all the variants there. Gray said, with Kang being the big bad and having variants everywhere, no writer thought that it would be cool if Kang got Renslayer to... Sorry, Gray, it moved. Let me go back up. Dang, were y'all... Hold on, let me find you again, Gray. Okay, hold on. Where are you at? Where did that comment go? Okay, there you are. If Kang got Renslayer to encapsulate T'Challa to get him out of the way until he's recasted. Could be. I mean... I would like that. That's another way to get him recasted. I mean, that's another explanation. I would like it. Kenny said they could even get creative and do their own thing with a variant. Felicity said, why didn't Janet say anything about Kang? Did she not say anything about Kang? I thought she said like he's dangerous. I thought she had like a whole in the first trailer. I thought she had like a whole thing she said about him. I could be wrong though. Sir Yuji said Kang Gang for sure. Raymond said we both have to lose. Yeah, I'm telling you, Kang loses in this. Like he doesn't come out on top. He still loses in this. And from my understanding, what I interpret from the we both have to lose is I'm taking it back to the plot leak, meaning that neither one of them are going to get out of the quantum realm. Only Cassie and MODOK make it out. Dougie Fresh said, give me this movie. Yeah, I need to see it too. Let's see. I don't want to pronounce your name incorrectly. I'm just going to, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, please forgive me. But I'm going to say, is it Wika? Said, damn. And then Dougie Fresh said, Thanos who? Raymond said, maybe with Kang we'll get a decent black character in the MCU. D. Stizzle said, Scott Lang, I want my 5 years back. Xavier said, Kang Gang, so hyped for this. So am I. I really want to see Kang so bad. CGZ said, the tone definitely seems different. Yeah. Dan the Man said, I thought he said, I know how it is. And what part? Grand Region Thrax said, Majors is so good, bro. He really is. He really is. Damn, it took me down again. Let me go back up. Executive Judge said, have you gotten your tickets yet? You know what? No. And the funny thing is, my co-host have been on me about it. We need to do that. As soon as I end the stream, I have to talk to them. We have a meeting anyway. I'm gonna talk to them, and we have to. We got to get that. We got to get that. Get those tickets. Gray said, facts. I want to see that scene. Yeah, and you know what, Gray? I'm actually okay that they haven't shown that scene in the trailer. I'm okay. I'd rather, you know what? Keep it. Keep that scene. Keep it from the general audience as well. Keep that scene. Let's just see it for the first time on the big screen. Because when I saw it was from somebody's phone from D23. D. Stizzle said, he's already shown his regular face too much in this trailer. I need that blue mask, but I get it. Actors need to be seen. I agree with you on he has shown. I want to see more of the blue mask, not just him. But I have an issue with actors needing to be seen in the MCU. And I take it to Christian Bale, because we all know Christian Bale had issues with covering his face with CGI and all that because he wanted to be seen. Brother, we've seen you in many movies. We know who you are. We know you're a phenomenal actor. If you don't want to cover your face or make it comic accurate, then don't come in the MCU. Don't don the role, because I think Gore would have looked so much better if he was comic accurate Gore, or not even that. Even some of the concept art they were gonna do as Gore looked better than what we got. So, like, I agree. Yes, actors should be seen in things like that, but at the same time, bro, unless you're like an upcoming actor or something like that or whatever, don't come in the MCU then, or don't portray a character where you know your face is going to be covered. Like, because, like, for me personally, again, I'll never watch Thor: Love and Thunder again just because it was a colossal waste of time. But also, the thing that had me most hype for Thor: Love and Thunder was Gore. Gore sucked. Like, sucked ass sucked. So, yeah, bro, I don't know. I feel like they need to, if you're going to take on those roles, you got to know some shit comes with that. Dan the Man said, the way time travel works in the MCU doesn't work with Kang's whole thing. Kang isn't talking about putting Scott in a different timeline. He's resetting the timeline. Oh, yeah. Dougie Fresh said, I'm watching the Loki finale before I see the movie. That's a good idea, honestly. That's a good idea. I love that finale. I love the panic on Loki's face when he's walking back into the TVA. The panic on his face when he sees that it's no longer the Timekeepers. It's now Kang, the guy he just met. The panic on his face when he's trying to explain it to Hunter B-15 and Mobius. And they're like, what division are you from? Who are you? And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then he realizes everything He Who Remains just told him has already gone into effect. Brilliant. I loved it. Loved that finale. Raymond said, a Kang variant is the Beyonder? Yes, sir. We'll pack up. Let's move across the street to DC. Yeah, bro. Not only that, a Kang variant wrote the Darkhold. But yes, a Kang variant coming from My Time to Shine. Hello. She says that a Kang variant is the Beyonder and also will be played by Majors. I still don't like that. I still don't like him being the Beyonder. Josh said, do you think Cassie learns who he is and goes to find young Kang, a.k.a. Iron Lad, to change the future? Well, I think, okay, so Cassie makes it out, just from what we know, again, from the plot leaks. Cassie makes it out, and at the end of the plot leak, it says that she's tinkering with the device that put them in the quantum realm in the first place, and then something flashes, and then she sees something that makes her gasp in fear, and then cuts to black in the end of the film. So that's I think she does learn who Kang is, and we do know, I don't know if Iron Lad's coming, but we know that elements of Children's Crusade are going to be Children's Crusade and Avengers Forever are going to be adapted into Kang Dynasty. So if Children's Crusade is being adapted, and we know that the Young Avengers is going to get their starting footsteps in Vision Quest with Viv, and I believe Viv is going to play the Jonas version of the Young Avengers team, and we know that the same Young Avengers themes are going to be continued in Agatha Coven of Chaos. Again, these are just from what we learned from rumors, so take all this with a grain of salt. Agatha Coven of Chaos is also going to be adapting elements of Children's Crusade in it, and then bleeding into Kang Dynasty. So if all that is true, I bet you Iron Lad shows up in Kang Dynasty. Possibly. D Stizzle said, not feeling the Beyonder idea. Nor am I. Corporatology said, all the Kang stuff seeming to come together for Phase 5 and 6. Sad, no doom, but getting excited to see Kang do his thing. He is a well-deserved character and will do great things. A la our boy, Jonathan Majors, for sure. Awika said, the tone is very dark for an Ant-Man movie, and I like it. Bro, me too. I love it. Love it. Arcs SS4 said, I expect Loki Season 2 to be just as good as Season 1. Whatever they did with Kang, have 2 or 4 Kangs, I'm sure it won't water down or weaken Kang overall in the MCU. Yeah, I'm sure. I agree. And, the trailer, I have the leaked trailer. I can't show it to you guys. If you're in the Discord, I'll put it in the Discord. I'll put the leaked trailer in the Discord. If you're in the Discord and you want to see it, don't click on it if you don't want to see it. But if you're in the Discord, I'll put it there. I just can't show it here because, Marvel will come for us. We'll get a copyright. I can't show it yet. So But I do have it. So if you're interested in seeing it, I will share it with you. Who sent it to me? Was it Silver Wishes? Did Silver Wish? I mean, I saw it during the D23 stuff. Who sent it to me? No. Jordex sent it to me. Jordex sent it to me on Twitter. He was the one that sent it to me. So shout out to you, Jordex. Let's see. JB Easy said, now imagine a recast of T'Challa and Doom in Wakanda Forever. Bro, would have been dope. You know, let Nate Moore tell it. Dr. Doom was never in the film. Again, lie more, but because we all saw the leaked concept art of Dr. Doom in Wakanda Forever. We've seen it. We know. Dr. Doom was absolutely a part of Wakanda Forever. They just took it out because they needed the audience to only be fixated on the doom and gloom of the film. You can't leave the film talking about anything other than the doom and gloom and how it made you feel in Marvel and patting Marvel on the back. You throw Dr. Doom in there, that's the only thing that's the only thing I'm talking about leaving Wakanda Forever, is did you see Dr. Doom? Did you see what, that's why Doom, in my opinion, that's why Doom was removed. Let's see. Sir Yuri G said, honestly, what I would like for Kang Dynasty is for them to do a version of one of Kang's best stories called Kang War. Yes. When he legit took over the world. And I love that comic cover too. Such a great cover. Lewis Berry said, excuse me, I think Kang will get some kind of victory over Scott. Yeah, he's going to lose the overall, getting out of the quantum realm. That part he's going to lose, but he is going to beat Scott. Cardboardology said, could Kang bring back Killmonger, Black Panther, from What If? What do you think? Could he? They could. I just really don't see Marvel doing any of that stuff. I really don't. I think they have their trajectory that they have with Kang. They with what they're going to do with him. As far as the time travel, multiversal stuff goes, I wouldn't hedge my bets on seeing things like that because I just don't think that's within the realm of where they're trying to move right now. I don't think they're going to do any Black Panther shit until this Wakanda Forever series or BP3. I just don't see it. Felicity said, I mean, way before the events in the trailer. Oh yeah, that's true too. Like back in Ant. That's true. I didn't think about that. I never thought about that. That's true. Why has she never That's very fucking true. Why has she never mentioned Kang? Because from our understanding of her interactions with Kang, it was her entire time she was in the quantum realm. The entire time she was in the quantum realm, she spent it with Kang. They were both trying to help each other get out of the quantum realm until she finally realized Kang's actual motives. So that's a very good question. Why has she never mentioned Kang? Interesting. Xavier said, I love that Jonathan Majors is a part of this cast. His presence is why I'm finally excited for the Ant-Man movie. I love it too. I can't wait to see him kill this role. Cameron Smith said, I feel like he has to kill a good amount of them so people can really know who's pulling up. That's what I said. I've said many times, if we don't see Kang conquering other universes before, we should see him taking down other Avengers from other universes. We should see him, there's that whole comic panel of him with his trophy room of, he's got a version of Cap's shield. He's got a version of Iron Man's helmet. He's got a whole stretched out Reed Richards on the roof. He's got his own vision. He's got several different, and also in the concept art for Loki Season 1, in the library of He Who Remains, they had a helmet of Iron Man in the library, but removed it. We should see shit like that. We need to be seeing stuff like that. We need to be seeing, I would love to see him sitting in a chair. There was that Hot Toys statue of the Maestro, and in that Hot Toy statue, it had like Iron Man's helmet. He had Cap's shield. He had the cloak. He had Doctor Strange's cloak. He had Thor's hammer. And he was sitting on a throne, and he had Iron Man's helmet in his hand, and he was sitting like this, looking. I would love to see something like that. I would just love to see versions of Kang conquering different versions of the Avengers to establish who Kang is. The same, and I've mentioned this before, the same way Thanos was established in Infinity War when he beat the shit out of Hulk. After the general audience saw that, it was like, oh shit, he's not to be trifled with. Although I hated that. I hated that he beat the shit out of Hulk so easily. It still set the tone that he's not to be fucked with. And I think that's the same tone that needs to be set, if not higher, for Kang. So, I mean, and let Kevin Feige say it, he's going to be the most powerful villain we've seen. So yeah, we need to see that for sure. Dan the Man said, not sure about the plot leak, but the reshoot set photos with Paul Rudd show him happy. Yeah, I saw that. They were doing some touch-up stuff there. I did see that. Chillspot said, 2023 is the year of Jonathan Majors, and I'm here for it. I agree. Give that man his flowers. Raymond said, Majors should have been T'Challa. Then we got Kenny that said, easy answer, because Kang wasn't a thought when Ant-Man and the Wasp movie was getting made. Felicity said, replying to Kenny, I get that, but you gotta retcon better than that. And I agree with that. You gotta retcon better than that for sure. Josh said, Scott was in prison for 5 years from Ant-Man 1 and lost another 5 from the snap. So Scott barely knows his daughter. So I get Ant-Man's point of view to work with Kang. Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely makes sense as to why he wants to work with Kang. I mean, you hear him say it. You hear Scott say it in the trailer. I don't care who he is. He can help us get back what we've lost, and that's time. I mean, Kang even tells him that in the trailer. In the trailer himself, when Scott says, when Kang says, I can help you get back what you've lost. And Scott says, what's that? Kang says, time. So yeah, he definitely wants that time back for sure. D-Sizzle said, yeah, I get it, but I don't like it. Most actors are, y'all gonna see me. Yeah, I know. I'm like, no. Christian Bale, and this is great, said Christian Bale looked like Mike Epps slapped him in the face with his baby powder on in How High. I wasn't feeling that shit. I really wasn't. I was really looking forward to it, but just ultimately let down. Raymond said, resetting the timeline, I wonder what that'll look like. Yeah. Kenny said, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully Quantumania explains why she didn't speak about him. Maybe Loki's events are why she didn't say anything. Then we've got Tequilaville said, Loki got better between episodes 4 and 6 for me. Really, for me, I enjoyed even episode 5. Not episode 5, episode 4. The train episode. I think that's episode 4. It might be episode 3. Whatever episode the train episode is that a lot of people didn't enjoy. I enjoyed every episode of Loki. Loki was a great time for me. I really enjoyed it. Inner Chakra said, yeah, Loki was insane. I loved it. Chillspot said, I was worried Gore wouldn't be good when I saw his action figure. Oh, yeah. When we saw the action figure, we did a video about it, and we were like, what the fuck? What is this? But Marvel Legends is released in actual... when it comes to Marvel Legends, I only ever get the comic accurate figures. And the comic accurate Gore is sick. It looks so good. Why could that not have been the Gore? But, you get what you get. Again, the MCU's going to do... MCU going to MCU. Equa said, Bill Pope is the cinematographer for this movie. He did The Matrix. This movie is going to look great. Yeah, from the trailers, it does look visually stunning for sure. Josh said Gore was a huge letdown. Just make Gore again, but name him different because the Gore we got was a child abducter. Nothing more. There was the one cool fight scene, and if you want to call that a fight scene, sure. But the one cool scene between when he showed up in New Asgard, when him and Thor were kind of tussling. I won't call that a fight. When they were tussling each other. That was the only cool thing for me with Gore. And I liked his dialogue with the kids when he had the kids all trapped. I liked the dialogue. But that's it. I think that's the only thing I liked from that movie. That's it. Let's see. We've got Raymond that said a Kang variant wrote the Darkhold. Is this even Marvel anymore? I'm telling you, if the MCU is going to MCU. Yes. So you guys remember me saying months ago I had heard that Wanda was going to be connected to Kang the Conqueror, but we hadn't heard anything else about it. Other than that, they were going to have ties or whatever. Other than that, months ago, I haven't heard anything else until Daniel RPK came out and said, I think it was Daniel RPK, came out and said that a variant of Kang wrote the Darkhold, which obviously ties him to Wanda, which obviously brings back into view the rumor of him having ties to Wanda from months ago. Now, what that means, I'm not really sure. We'll have to wait and see. I don't like that either, but we'll have to wait and see. Kenny said, before the events of Loki, there was no Kangs to speak of. Dougie Fresh said, we may not see the Fantastic Four in the end credits, but if they're trapped in the quantum realm, too, I feel like we have to get some kind of hint towards them. I agree. And I hope it is in a post-credit scene, like rumored. I hope so. D Sizzle said, all these rumors sound all new, all different. Yeah. Inner Chakra said he's going to knock it out of the park, especially if he nails the acting for having different personalities. Every time we see him as a different variant. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to skip down to some of these others. Brian Fisher said, Wakanda Forever gets me every time. Yeah, it's Wakanda Forever, bro. Dan the Man said, if we do get Iron Lad, it'll probably be the boy from Iron Man 3. I don't like that either. Inner Chakra said, will Kang take back the 10 rings from Shang-Chi? I don't think he's going to take them back from Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi 2 does come out before Kang Dynasty. Something could happen where Kang is involved in Shang-Chi. I don't know. Quite possibly, bro. Quite possibly. I don't know about the whole taking the rings themselves, but we do know that the rings play a part are connected to Kang in some way, and maybe that are maybe even signaling to Kang, like we saw at the end of Shang-Chi in the post-credit scene where it was sending a signal. Maybe that signal was to Kang. So. Within the quantum realm. I don't know. We'll see. SP Flash said, Kang War is the Kang Dynasty storyline. Yes, but so it's Kang War, Avengers Forever, Children's Crusade. I always miss out on the third one. It's Kang War, Avengers Forever, Children's Crusade, or the comics being adapted into Kang Dynasty. Josh said, I saw a leak that Cassie gets out in Kang, but separately, and Scott and Wasp left there. Yeah, so the leak that we've talked about over here is that, or that I read, is that MODOK gets out, Cassie gets out, but Hank, Janet, Hope, and Scott remain with Kang. I don't think Kang gets out, but I could be, that's just what the plot leak said. Again, take that with a grain of salt. Raymond said they can't put Killmonger from What If in because he's locked in the crystal with the Ultron Vision. That's true with the Infinity Gems, and they were about to destroy the multiverse, so evil Doctor Strange locked them. Then he says, Kang Dynasty is crazy, but I don't know how they can have Kang take over the world in one film, and then they resolve it if they do. We've got Aqua that said, bro, even the new posters for the film are sick. They really are. They really are. I think we got like 11 or something, like new posters, not just like posters with everyone on it, but even individual posters. I think it all equals up to like 11 new ones, and they are dope. Inner Chakra said, that was the problem with Gore. We didn't even see him butcher any gods. Yeah, no. We saw them pull up him butchering gods on that montage, that screen or whatever the Guardians pulled up and on the ship. It had all those multiple screens of Gore doing different terrible things that we never got to see. Yeah, it was awful. Raymond said the posters look so good. Double Tar said, I loved all of Loki. Same. Dougie Fresh said, to be fair, Janet didn't really have much screen time because she got snapped. D Stizzle said no problems with Thanos giving Hulk that 2-piece combo in the beginning, but Hulk should have gave that. He should have at least landed some fucking hits. 4-piece combo with the biscuit in Endgame. Grand Legion Thrag said, that worries me when Marvel starts wasting talent like Christian Bale in bad movies. Right. Official EMG said, I loved all of Loki. It was actually very different from the MCU and actually consistent in quality, and the payoff with Kang was worth it. I loved Loki. I really did. For me, it goes WandaVision, Loki. SP Flash said, I did not like Loki. I loved it, man. I really did. Josh said, wasn't there leaks of Gore looking comic accurate with the tentacle? Yes, so there was concept art. It wasn't exactly comic accurate, but it was more comic accurate than what we got. He did have the tentacles and everything in the but the concept art that Marvel did release. Why they didn't go with that? Well, we know because Christian Bale wanted to show his face and everything else, but yeah. Let's see. Grenadier Thrag said, so is this why they killed off T'Challa? Because they knew they were doing all this with Kang and can't have two brothers, super strong, smart warrior conquerors, and kings like Kang and T'Challa. Possibly, bro. I don't know. You know Marvel, MCU, they have their agenda, what they want to do. Dougie Fresh said Kang potentially being the Beyonder and another variant riding the Darkhold. They're trying to give him everything. I don't like either one of those either, though. I don't like the whole Darkhold thing, and I don't like the Beyonder. I don't know why he's the Beyonder. Just do the Beyonder. Felicity said Hank is probably just gonna die. Michael Douglas is like 80 years old. Yeah, he probably is gonna perish. Gray said Hulk, Drax, Nebula all should have gotten some good licks on Thanos in Endgame. Yes. Raymond said the only good thing about Loki was the finale. For me, great concept, poor execution. I'm still trying to figure out how they can fit all these things. Kang War, 10 Rings, other variants, other universes, Chronopolis all in one film. Somebody write a fan plot on Reddit. Kenny said whatever reasons they had or have for not recasting T'Challa don't really matter. They made the wrong decision. I don't need to make sense of a mistake. And you know what? That is the comment of the day. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken fucking dinner. Yes. I don't need to make sense of a mistake. There you go. See, Jeezy said, makes sense for Kang to escape the quantum realm to begin the reign of terror. Yes, it does. D Stizzle said, concept art is usually better than the finished product. Yeah. Antonio Film said, I don't like Kang and magic. Leave the Darkhold stuff alone. I agree. Grenadier Thrax said, Darius, please tell me you watched The Last of Us. Not yet. But I'm watching it tonight. So soon, because like I said, we're done with topics and everything. That's our last comment there. So I am gonna watch it tonight. I'm about to go in here, watch Last of Us. I will talk about Last of Us with you guys tomorrow for sure. But I'm definitely excited to watch it because I've been trying to avoid things that people have been saying. Now I didn't play the game. I have watched the cinematic scenes in the game. That's one of the things. If I don't ever get to play a game that I want to play, I always watch the cinematic scenes from it, so I know what's going on. But I am gonna definitely go watch this. Like now, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Got Inner Chakra that said, bruh, Marvel did Drax terrible. Drax is a completely different character in the comics. Yes, he is. Vastly different. D Stizzle said the Beyonder in general could be a fake out like the Timekeep. That's true. Dougie Fresh said it should be a trilogy: Kang War, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars. I have always said I don't fucking know how you're doing this in a two film deal. I don't. We'll have to see. I don't get it. Secret Wars cannot be done in a singular film. It cannot. Dougie Fresh said that's a scary thought. D Stizzle. Raymond said I love the cutscenes of games. Same. D Stizzle said like Trevor Slattery on a cosmic scale. Then Grinders and Thrax said I never played the game either. CU I didn't have PS4 or 5, but watched the cinematic parts. HBO rarely misses, man. Yeah, bro, I'm about to watch it. I really am. I can't wait to see it. So it looks like it's going to be good. And the last one's here from Kenny and Raymond. Kenny said, if the show is anything like the game, by the end you will hate humanity. No characters will be redeemable. Not really a spoiler, but I've never been more conflicted about a main character. Raymond said, I'm really trying to figure out how this movie is going to play out. Kang Dynasty, I mean. How do you make it hit and feel more crazy than Infinity War? This has been my concern since D23. Since they announced, was it at D23? I'm sorry, SDCC. No, it was whichever fucking con it was. I don't remember. I think it was D23. Whenever they announced, it wasn't D23. What fucking con was that? I don't remember what con it was. When they announced Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, that has always been a concern for me. When I didn't see that there was a part 2 to Secret Wars, I was like, okay, maybe that's going to be announced later, because there's no way in hell you can tell Secret Wars in one film. That's not possible. It's not possible. But we'll see what they do. But anyway, appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with me tonight. Comic-Con, thank you. Comic-Con 2022, that's what it was. Thank you, Gray. Gray always comes in and cleans up my mess-ups. Thank you, Gray. So yeah, Comic-Con. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight in the chat and everything like that. I'm going to get in here, watch The Last of Us, eat some dinner. Also, a little announcement. Look forward to seeing me start around the time I started today. I think that the streams are going to do much better starting around this time than starting that late. It'll definitely do better for me on sleep. So we're going to be looking at starting our streams around the time we started today, so around that 5:30 mark Central Standard Time. And yes, I will send the link for the Loki trailer in Discord. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Mind of Inception. Thank you for that. I appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you, Felicity, for the subscription tonight. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody else that was in the chat and was here, and all the many questions. And again, just hanging out with you guys. I look forward to this every fucking day. I look forward to getting off work every day just to come hang out with you guys and talk the talk we love to talk. Honestly, I love it. So thank you guys. I'm gonna go eat. I'll watch The Last of Us and give you guys my thoughts on The Last of Us tomorrow. Yeah, so thank you. See you tomorrow. As I always say, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out. Be safe. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Love you guys. Much love. Peace.